What is going on, everybody? It is episode 664 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and I am happy to report that Dane is back from a hiatus.
Well, if it isn't little old me.
It is little old you.
It is every woman. So I guess Woman Wednesday is back? Question mark?
Correct.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How are you?
It's Woman Wednesday. It's good. Things are good. We got a day today that I'm having to wrap my head around. This is maybe like the most all over the place episode we've ever done.
Isn't that what we aim for?
Kind of.
You know,
Yeah.
a variety show.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to get into today. It's I think you guys are gonna like it. It's a smorgasbord of topics. Is it smorgasbord?
What is it?
I don't know how to say it.
Smorgasbord?
For sure, I don't know how to say it.
You don't realize how many words you might not know until you do a podcast.
It's a smorgasbord.
Okay.
I think it's
Board.
it.
Okay, so I was right the second time, not the first time. Smorgasbord would be like if it was in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a venereal disease for people
Anyway.
that work in labs.
There you go.
We're talking about a lot of things.
We got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. But before we get started, please hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, please and thank you. Share the video with friends, family, loved ones, people you like, people you hate, people you're generically indifferent to. Everyone, because the best thing that you can do to help this show grow is to share the videos out so that they can share the videos out with them. Maybe they know how to pronounce that word that I was just trying to say. Maybe it is smorgasbord.
That should be the poll.
Yes.
Do you know how to pronounce it?
Yeah.
I don't even know what language it is.
Yeah, so it was like
Sounds German.
Sounds like it.
vaguely German. All right, so what are we getting into today? Well, there is an Olympian who is being body shamed after she went viral on the internet. She is she's a rugby player.
Yep.
Right?
I'm pretty
Her name
sure
is-
that back when we were talking about the Strong is Beautiful lingerie campaign, she might have been one of the rugby players in that.
Okay.
So you've probably seen her before without knowing it, but she came to my attention just this week because of the Olympics going on right now. And she is being called the next Caitlin Clark, which is a bold statement. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be true.
She must be very good at what she does because that's hold on there. All right, got it fixed now. She's got to be very good at what she does because Caitlin Clark is very well regarded because of how talented she is. So we'll get into it.
But also because of her personality.
Yeah.
You know, that's essential to being a celebrity, not just an athlete.
Well, we will talk about it. She's got some videos that have gone very viral. So we're going to talk about that. And as positive as that topic may be, because, people take a high view of her despite the fact that people are body shaming her. Her name is Ilona Maher. Right?
I would say it the same as Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
But I'm
Okay,
not
so
totally sure.
So we're going to go straight from that into the Queen of the Karens for Kamala. That is the name of the group that I've created.
Yeah.
Queen of the Karens for Kamala. It's part of the Karens for Kamala Zoom meeting that went on the other day.
Well, it's technically the White Women for Kamala Harris meeting, and there was this clip of Mrs. Frazzled going viral all over the timeline where she was instructing all of the women on that Zoom call on how to check their privilege at the door. And
HR wants you to tell me the difference between the photos. There is no difference.
She is literally the worst Karen on the planet. I can confidently say she is the worst one.
I can confidently say she is the literal average human being in DC.
Well, I never lived in DC, so I guess
Yes.
you're the expert.
That's hell. It's hell
It
on
is
earth.
Sounds like hell.
It was hell.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Miss Frazzled. And then we're also going to talk about another AI hellscape that has come forward, Friend, which is a wearable AI that listens to your conversations and talks back to you.
Yeah, I did a little bit of a deep dive on the guy who is launching this product yesterday, and I posted about it. I don't know if any of you saw, but we need to talk about him too, because he's utterly insane, a deranged individual. And now there's beef going on in the AI wearable community. Like, some people are saying, you stole my idea. It's a whole thing.
There's a subculture for literally everyone on planet Earth, guys. It's hilarious. Somebody needs to start like an AI wearable drama farming channel. They can do that.
Well, it's us.
Yeah,
It's literally
it's
us.
gonna be us. So we're gonna talk about that. Also, look, guys. We dunk on Gen Z all the time here. We dunk on boomers all the time here. But today, just because we hate Dane sometimes, we have decided to share with you a couple of articles in which, was it Zillennials?
They're not Zillennials. Okay, let me clear this up before we get into it. Zillennial is someone who's on the cusp between Gen Z and millennial, but a zennial that starts with an X is the cusp between millennial and Gen X, which is you.
I'm a zillennial.
You're a zennial. You're a zennial.
Remember this crap. So
whatever.
Zennials are sharing with you the good bits of wisdom shared to them by their boomer parents. And I just know Dane is going to just retch the whole time. We're
going to go down the list and fact check it with you, Dane.
It's going to be amazing.
They literally torture me every week. I'm the biggest masochist for coming back.
We're going to talk about it.
We're glad you're here. It gives us delight.
So, if you guys are ready, we can just go ahead and get started. You ready?
I'm ready.
Dane?
Yep.
Dane's like, well, I was until the boomer topic came up.
Dude.
All right, first things first. Speaking of boomers, I guess these are Gen X guys. Green Day is under fire after holding up, which is being unfortunate. I think it's being misreported as a severed fake Trump head. It's not. It's a mask.
You're splitting hairs a little bit, but this is definitely reminiscent of the Kathy Griffin moment.
Yes.
Iconic. So at least be the person who does it first. Billy Joe Armstrong holds up a Donald Trump head at a Green Day concert in D.C. 2 weeks after the assassination attempt.
Less than a month, yeah.
With the word idiot on Trump's face.
Get it? Because he was performing American Idiot.
I'm pretty sure he was performing Jesus of Suburbia, but I could be wrong. That's essentially the song that he uses to ad-lib all of his political opinions.
Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. I just had an out-of-body experience. As you were doing the intro, I started reading the Millennial X, whatever thing we're going to have at the end of the day.
Save your ire.
Wow.
Dane is pissed.
Wow, dude.
Get excited,
Oh,
everyone.
my God.
Look, as far as Green Day is concerned, it kind of like, we almost need Carter here to like show you guys that people just don't care about punk anymore. Like we had the punk cruise, the pop punk cruise.
The emo's not dead cruise.
The emo's
is
not dead cruise.
Name, yeah.
Yeah, I just, does it matter?
There's been some nuclear STDs
They've
on
been
that
cringe
thing.
for a while. Even during the George W. Bush era, everyone was like, "This, they're kind of."
Was he
lame.
cringe in the Bush
at
era?
the very least during the Bush era, they were pushing back on a country that was like fully in support of the war. I mean, it was cringe, but it was at least different than what the mainstream American public thought at the time, because you were not really supposed to oppose the war at that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now that's become the popular
Now he's like,
sentiment.
let's go to. Yeah, I don't know what he's actually saying, but now he's the part of the party that wants to go to war in Ukraine and go to war in Israel and Palestine and go to war everywhere else.
It's before people realized that both parties want that.
Yeah, it's the uniparty.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the problem with that is like it plays on the narrative of good and bad. That's just, it's very hard to make music with nuance like that would sell to the American people.
Yeah, but he's doing this for an audience of people who think exactly
Yeah.
like him. So I'm
Correct.
sure they loved it and they were having a great time.
They were at the National
in
Park
DC.
in Washington, D.C. Of course.
So
they
of
were.
course they love it.
Nothing was learned. No rhetoric was toned down as people expected there to be, which I didn't, honestly. I predicted the assassination attempt to disappear from the news cycle quickly. I didn't expect it to disappear as quickly as it did.
You know, that's funny because you ended up being right, because I predicted the exact opposite. I thought that they are, but I thought Republicans were gonna be like licking their wounds like perpetually, like for the next whatever months until November. But
They barely even addressed it really at the RNC. It was mentioned, of course, every day at the RNC, but not in every speech. It was like not the focus, which is really strange to me.
Well, there's also censorship going on right now at Google in relation to this, and Meta AI and all of these things. It's exactly what I expected. I said the censorship's industrial complex would go into hyperdrive, which is not to say like the Google stuff is more blatant, right? The Meta stuff is more blatant, but the best way to get it out of the news cycle is just not talk about it.
But I think that we have proof that Trump watches the show.
Ah.
He took my advice to start collabing with streamers, because Adin Ross has just announced he will be streaming with Donald Trump on August 5th.
I don't know what an Adin Ross and a Donald Trump talk about.
dude,
Adin Ross is extremely lower IQ than Donald Trump, so I don't know if he can keep up.
Profoundly.
I mean, I said he should be streaming Elden Ring. That's what Trump should be doing. He should be playing Elden Ring.
He's so. I mean, I truly think it might be a character, because it's like shocking. Like listening to him sometimes.
I don't listen to Adin Ross.
Also, does that mean that he's gonna? Because Adin Ross is on Kick, right? He's not even on Twitch, so he's gonna.
Oh, he got kicked off of Twitch.
Well, I think he got a contract with Kick. Or whatever.
I
so.
see. He might do the same thing he did when he streamed with Andrew Tate, where after Trump walks out of the room, he's gonna smell his chair.
I think it's an act. He seems like a savvy business guy. Like every time like someone's on the up and up, he gets them.
Says, I'm happy to be in a situation where I'm about to say August 5th, which is next Monday, I have a stream with the president. The president, Donald Trump. We've been working on this for weeks and months. It's officially locked in. We will have a live stream with the president on August 5th, and it's going to be insane. Like, again, what's going to make it insane? What are they going to talk about?
Well, some people think that Adin Ross is lying and that this was a total like marketing campaign because in the past he fake announced a stream with Kim Jong-un. I don't know why anyone would believe that to be real, but he had like a thumbnail of him on a Zoom call with Kim Jong-un, but it wasn't Kim Jong-un. It was just a random Asian guy in a suit.
That's hilarious.
Also, I think Trump has got the bro vote on lock. Like he should really.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to keep at it, right?
No, but he should try to get the ladies.
Everyone says that, oh, they're talking about that with Kamala. They're like, she's already got the lib vote on lock, the WAP vote on lock, but you have to continually. Well, that's what it is. She's got Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and all of these people on her side, but you have to continually pander if you're going to keep it.
But if Trump wants to appeal to the women, especially young women, I think that he could try to post more about his relationship with his grandchildren, like sweet videos that make him seem nice.
Yeah, with the family.
To be
stuff.
honest, that's what would tug their heartstrings.
And it has to be with the grandkid. Unfortunately, it has to be with the grandkids or with Barron because the media's already like propagandized his adult family members so much that stuff with them isn't going to do any good.
Like the speech that his granddaughter gave at the RNC legitimately like moved me because I was like, oh, he's such a sweet guy. Yeah. Like I love him.
Like I think you're probably right. Like if he was to shift and if he was going to, because he's not going to win the majority of the female vote, but also like 68% of unmarried women vote Democrat, and they're not going to be moved by Grandpa Trump. They probably hate the dad that gave them their grandpa anyways. So
perhaps. Maybe there are some in the middle that you could.
They hate their grandpa that gave them their dad, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's any way to appeal to the young women. They're not going to suddenly flip.
I truly think it's only through like some deep fake, gigantic psyop that they can sway women.
I just don't. There's not enough time.
They need to artificially shift consensus.
Yeah, Taylor
over
Swift.
Years, and the Taylor Swift endorsement is coming. It's happening soon.
Yeah, she might not have done it if it was going to be Biden,
like after the DNC. It's a ticking time bomb until the Taylor Swift endorsement.
Well, I'm sure he's going to pull a lot of voters from Kick.
Yeah.
Well, again,
voters.
Well, should we wait and see like whether this actually happens or not? Like, I'm leaning towards it not happening. But maybe
he's just lying.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, apparently somebody on his campaign had the right idea.
Yep. And you did like a mini deep dive into Barron Trump today.
Yeah, Daily Mail just published this exclusive report on Barron Trump's high school years, where they interviewed some of his classmates who remained anonymous, and they talked about his possible dating life, his fake name, his alias that he went under during school, and the fact that Secret Service, of course, had a heavy presence at their school the entire time he was there.
How do you keep a 6'9" kid safe?
You don't.
Like, do you like stack two Secret Service agents on top of each other?
Yeah, that's going to be difficult. He has to get good at crouching if anything happens, but they interviewed some of his classmates saying Barron was very funny and sociable. He would start the most random conversations and could be very entertaining. He was also very mysterious. He never attended football games or dances. I don't think he met up with anyone outside of school or went on dates. If he had a girlfriend, it was top secret and we never knew about it.
You know what it is? This is like literally every dude wants to be the mysterious guy in class.
He actually got the mysterious Sigma male.
Every dude who's just kind of mildly socially awkward and stands in the corner thinks that's who he is. He actually was.
He's an inspiration. Truly. They said,
he's the actual Sigma.
I'm sure he had fun in his own way, but it was a bit of a shame that he didn't get to have a normal high school life like everyone else. But they made it sound like he, approximated something close to that.
Yeah.
He did half of his work online, and showed up half the time, but like later than everyone else in an armored car.
What a mythology, though. Yeah. Like, whenever he got there, he just crushed, but then he like left. He was like, "Oh my god, you're so funny. Where'd he go?"
But he went under the alias Jack the entire time.
I just think Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's perfect for a guy who's like 7 feet tall.
The name Jack definitely works for him. I can see it. They had Secret Service snipers at their graduation ceremony in Florida.
They were doing their job that day.
Finally doing what they're supposed to do. Also, everyone at the school had to sign NDAs, so no one knew exactly where he attended until now. And he's going to college in the fall, but no one knows where he's going. I'm sure it'll
online
be public eventually. I mean, he should probably just do college online, but yeah,
the
that
Secret
would suck
Service when he tells
ways.
The Secret Service when he tells them that he wants to attend in class.
Do you think since he's Trump sound like he would get denied from like Harvard or some stuff?
That's a good question. I mean, normally I would say no. Normally I would say like the average, like Trump may be the one, elite person who they would be happy to deny. But usually, when you're of that social class, it's a lot easier to get into. I mean, maybe he doesn't get Harvard, but he gets. I mean, they're all. Is he smart? Is he super smart? Maybe he goes to MIT. Maybe he goes to Caltech. Maybe
he looks like the Ubermensch. So like
he looks smart. He has this aristocratic look. They said he had multiple agents who would rotate throughout the day, and there was always one with him wherever he needed to go. Agents would stand outside the classroom door. If he went to the bathroom, they had to go with him and wait outside.
We're just glazing him non-stop.
A lot of parents had concerns that the school would become a target when they heard that he was coming to Oxbridge. It was a really big deal when he arrived.
That's a reasonable concern from the parents, even if they're not like, even if they don't like him, the Trump family politically, like the school's at risk just because people are insane.
But they said after a while it became normal and the kids barely took any notice of the Secret Service.
And it probably makes sense that like the kids, so what grade did he start going to school there? Like 10th grade?
I'm not sure if he was in DC for the first year of high school.
I'm guessing that like most of those kids aren't as politically like
well, it's mostly Republican because it's a West Palm Beach private school that's $40,000 a year.
So they're cool with it.
Most of the kids were cool with it. It sounds like they didn't have a problem with him. He wasn't bullied for being a Trump. Another interesting part was they said that he wasn't allowed to, well, they didn't say this outright, but he didn't ever eat school lunch because it was this like buffet style food. And I'm sure the Secret Service told him he wasn't allowed to eat any of the school food because of poisoning risk.
Wow.
I mean, one of the things that I would randomly think about is like, how do they buy food for the White House? Like they just go undercover to make incognito purchases. So
did the Secret Service have to like individually inspect every Big Mac?
It would be great, or it would be better if he had like his own taste tester, like an old king.
I bet he does.
He probably does.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure Trump does too. But
that's what Tucker was saying.
Yeah, someone said, I do think everyone will be proud that they went to school with Barron. A lot of students consider themselves Republicans, and everyone was super excited when Trump showed up for their graduation. Can you imagine that? Trump and Melania showing up to your high school graduation. I would be okay with that.
Yep. He throws like a MAGA hat in the air when they're done.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's quite. Do you think he goes into politics?
Possibly. I mean,
does he have interests? Does he have other things that he likes?
They said
to do? He likes to play Clash of Clans.
Patrick Bet-David was talking about in his podcast about how he met him. And he was basically like he's a gigantic Giga Chad. Like, he's hilarious and he is very interested in politics. So.
He called him a sarcastic, tough guy who's really sharp, really smart.
Well, I mean, that's going to turn the Trump family into dynastic politicians soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, though. I mean, Barron is inherently likable.
We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard a word.
The joke I used to always make was like that the actual dictator will be Barron when he actually gets elected.
Yeah, not 2028, but somewhere down the line. And yeah, he is a huge fan of Clash of Clans. They also said that he dabbled in aviation and excelled at science. So he's a smart cookie.
So there you go. He can go work for
Boy.
He could become a video game developer.
He could do that. Well, we're going to be talking about that actually, because the video game, the actors who make video games are going on strike. You see this?
Yeah.
No.
How is that possible?
SAG-AFTRA is going on strike against the video game industry. It says, we are not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. Well, that's as vague as you could possibly get. But they just started today. It says SAG-AFTRA sets first picket for video game strike at Warner Brothers. So it says
they had like voice actors on the picket line.
Voice actors will be hitting the picket lines on Thursday as SAG-AFTRA announced the first in-person action against one of the 10 major video game companies impacted by the interactive media agreement strike. The picket will take place at Warner Brothers Games in Los Angeles from 9. They just love to strike. They love it. Like Disney just like the people who work at the parks, the actors who work at the parks at Disney just got a 20% raise because they voted 99% to strike. All artists are like ready to strike at any time. They want to. They want to go outside and say, oh, boo-hoo, I wish I could be working right now, but I guess I can't.
I just couldn't understand how any of them could afford to not work for almost a year.
Oh, it's so funny, too. So I was reading, we're going to be going into it more tomorrow with the Robert Downey Jr. stuff, but it's like all these people in the industry who are talking about how much money he's making, how much they're not making. A lot of them are saying like, yeah, I haven't worked at all since the strikes ended.
That's insane.
They're like, I haven't gotten a single job. Like they've stopped productions and they're not hiring.
This says, despite the committee's efforts, these employers who generate billions in annual profit from 3.2 billion active gamers worldwide failed to recognize the rights of workers to be protected against the unconstrained rise of artificial intelligence.
It is going to be impossible to govern that within video games.
This is happening at a very interesting time because more and more there's a bunch of companies. I think Microsoft was the last one that I heard of that they're completely shutting down their DEI departments. And by the way,
they're all going to reopen under Bridge.
Maybe, but like DEI and this like AI stuff is like completely different subjects, but I don't know why they get shoehorned in a lot. And I think that it's happening at an opportune time because these companies, they want to say like, no, we already cut out the DEI stuff because it wasn't working for the bottom line, and they're gonna put this in that bucket and be like, no, we need AI people, but it's all for the for the bottom dollar. You
know that Severance becoming like the most expensive show of all time is because of the strikes. Like they had to keep the sets there. That was the reason. Like the new season.
But the set is literally just an office.
But the thing
building.
Is, they have to keep that. They have to keep it rented. They have to keep it built. They have to keep people. Like it was like that was what caused the price to balloon for the new year or for the new season.
Also, this strike is kind of playing with fire because you're going on strike because they're using like AI elements for voiceovers, for actors, for whatever. What are they gonna do when they don't have any actors? They're just gonna.
I think they'll find scabs. Scabs will be more and more common these days because people just take a bad view of unions.
I don't know.
What's the disincentive to become a scab at this point?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
what do they do to you if you?
Well, if you're, if the goal was to then one day work within the union, they're not gonna want to let you in, if you cross picket lines.
I felt like there were a lot of threats made about that, especially toward influencers who promote movies.
Yeah.
Didn't follow through.
It's really funny because it's the same guy last time, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, which is the greatest name.
How is
he
that
just
a real
sounds
name?
like a dude with a monocle.
How is that?
It says
this is not a real person.
He says, frankly, it's stunning that these video game studios haven't learned anything from the lessons of last year. You're the one who's putting all your actors out of all of your below the line workers out of work. They're not getting any jobs.
By the way, last time you were supposed to be on, we were planning to talk about the Final Fantasy voice actor who they chose
for 16, the unbearable one,
a trans voice actor as a female character, I believe. It was just very noticeable that the person voicing that character was trans.
I'm not aware.
People were saying it was just like really, it's like noticeable to the point where you can't play the game. I don't know if you saw that.
I would have to look it up. I don't know.
Also, there's like, so from all the stuff that I was reading yesterday, they're just shipping these jobs overseas.
Do you remember the name of the character?
Done cheaper in other countries. With the way technology is now, it's not like you even need it in studio. They can have it done over there and just have all of the work shipped back here. You know, they took our gerbs is becoming even more prophetic than it was before.
Yeah.
All right, this is, I mean, the layers for this strike keep getting really interesting as I keep thinking about scenarios because these are broad generalizations, but I feel like there's like two subsects of or three maybe subsects of gamers. One is like the casuals that will only buy like the AAA highly marketed ones. The other one is gameplay focused. They just like care about the quality of the game. They do not care about the story at all. And there's others where they use the video games kind of as a literary form, and I include myself.
Meaning the story is as important as the gameplay?
Yeah, and sometimes even more so.
Okay.
And I include myself in kind of that division, and nothing can ruin a game like that more than poor voice acting.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally...
Is that why they get a lot of like regular actors now to do it? It's like, I mean, you get big name actors with recognizable voices in a lot of these games now too. It's not just voice actors.
And because it breaks immersion, like, incredibly well when it's like, oh no, I'm sad. Like, it's like, what the hell just happened?
One of the things, like, so voice, like the way in which something is said is a big means to how I remember lines in movies and television shows. Like, I get crap all the time for like when I'm constantly like reiterating lines from movies and televisions. I have to follow the vocal inflection, and that's done best when it's done by an actor who knows how to emphasize the right word at the right time, you know, understands how to pull the most emotion from a scene. And the real question is like, look, all the voice actors will go on strike, right? But are any of the TV actors or movie actors who also do video games going to take time off of their regular jobs working on movie and TV sets to also go strike for this? Or are they going to not stand in solidarity with their voice acting brethren?
This
Do you think it's the same skill set?
a winning strategy.
What do you mean?
Because so voice actors, you don't necessarily have to be like a good looking person. Yeah. I mean, today you don't even have to be good looking to be an actor.
Yeah.
But it's really about like, it's like theatricality.
I don't think they're the same skill sets.
Right. So
because vocalizing, first of all, they actually have unique elements to both of them, meaning like one is a lot like acting against a green screen, right? Where somebody's parroting their lines back to you and then you have to inflect, you know, in a sound stage or in a sound booth, whereas actors have to do this physically while also moving their body and stuff like that. It's why even acting in movies and television is vastly different than stage acting, where you have to enunciate more and you have to project farther out to the people in the back of the theater. And they'll talk about how theater actors will have to learn the skill set of going from stage acting back to screen acting, back to stage acting.
So this is, I've kind of changed my mind about this on the 5 minutes we've been talking about it. I do think now that the voice actors have like a real big advantage, because there's no way AI can be good at inflection or any of that. There's no way. It's not there.
It might happen eventually. We're just not close to that.
Well, they're not just talking about voice.
I mean,
they're not just talking about voice here. They're also talking about, you know, there are going to be other actors who don't want their physical likeness used by these studios as well.
Like, they fully stole Ellen Page's face for The Last of Us. And
the top comments.
It was very obvious that they did that.
A bunch of the top comments on all of these sites were like, we're never getting GTA 6, are we?
Yeah.
This is never going to come out because
theoretically the game is done, isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, it won't even be done when they release it.
So the thing is, famously Grand Theft Auto and Final Fantasy, every time they announce it, they get delayed for 2 or 3 years.
That's crazy.
Because they are gigantic productions. Like, people are still playing on. It's still one of the most popular games, the last GTA, and I think it's like close to a decade where it came out. Like, it's a gigantic task, and that's how I knew 60 was gonna be a hunk of dog shit, because they were like, oh no, it's not gonna be delayed, like it's already out and printed. It's like, really?
Yeah.
No delay?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how long they're on the picket lines. It's not going to get what's funny is, like, I feel like the industry is more profitable than Hollywood, but is going to get
It definitely is.
But this is going to get less play.
This is a bigger industry than the movie industry as a whole.
Yeah, billions and billions of dollars run through it every year with far more return on investment, it seems. So, all right, let's talk about who it is that Dane hates the most.
Yeah, recently it was announced that Haley Welch, FKA Tuah girl, is capitalizing on her so-called 15 minutes of fame by filing trademarks for hawk sauce and bet on that thing. She's reportedly launching her own line of hot sauce that is called hawk sauce, and apparently securing a gambling deal.
I'll tell you why the hot sauce one is perfect, right? Given the accent and where she's from, you can just bet she's like, my mammy had a recipe.
Yeah.
And this is the recipe.
Even if she didn't, they're gonna
make that shit up.
So
lie on that thing.
Dane, I saw that you posted about this and said it's essential this lady fizzles out into obscurity ASAP. They're trying to shove her so far up our collective asses for literally no effing reason. It's pathetic. That sums up your take, I assume.
Yeah, dude. Like as I grow older, I am trying very hard and failing miserably. But I'm genuinely trying really hard, like, not to like lean into like my hater side. But it's I don't know why this. Originally, when I talked to her about her on PCC, I was like, you know, like it's a girl like being vulgar and funny, and it's in theory she's acting like. Talking about like an act of service for her man. That's like, I'm really trying to skirt around the subject. That's, you know, sloppy toppy, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
But was that 3-second clip really, like, what she's getting out of this is honestly amazing. Like,
But
she's in every podcast in LA because like, those freaks don't know what to talk about.
She was just on Bill Maher's show.
On Bill Maher?
Yeah.
On Real Time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Talking about what?
Taylor Swift? I don't even know.
Brought up like she was like going on with Bill Maher. I was like, let's plan my future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like how? Like why? Who's interested? Who's asking for this?
You know what it is? It's a
lot
side
of
effect
people.
of a world that's about content rather than content.
Yeah, it's
meaning that it's about just putting out as much as possible than it is about quality, and that's honestly the name of the game. That's half of this show.
Okay, you're saying
it's just content, right?
Who's asking for this? And I just went to that episode of Club Random that she was on.
Oh, Club Random. Okay, that makes okay. I thought it was
that makes more sense.
Oh
political
no,
show. I
not
was
the
like,
not
what?
the political show, but it has over 200,000 views posted 3 days ago. Clearly, there are people interested in her personality and what she has to say about society. So there is an audience for it, like it or not.
It's what it is the collective internet comes together, and the people who are the most terminally online, meaning people here, you get sick of it real fast because you're on because you're online all the time, right? And then it filters down into various subsets of people who are online to varying degrees. And then with each of those groups, you come together and you find some people who just they latch on to a person's personality more than they do what they're famous for. It's a byproduct of reality television.
Who's her management?
She hired a legit management firm to represent her. Like she got picked up by a legit talent agency.
But is it like Beelzebub Inc? Like what is like they're so effective because Hannah Barron, the profoundly hot Southern girl, is like 10 times.
Yeah, but she's got 1 million subscribers. She's got almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. She's just.
But she fizzled out.
No,
in my world at least.
Well, Hannah Barron.
That's just your algorithm
Maybe,
is just different, right? She's got her own targeted audience. So the thing is, there's 7 billion people in the world. So one person can be extremely effective with 200,000 views on a video and 1 million followers.
They're gonna nominate her in the DNC for president. Like I'm telling you, like,
I think she's gonna get picked for VP.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think she's old enough.
No, she's not old enough yet, but you know, she could spin this any way she wants.
Here's the thing. Like people have been making the jokes for 2 decades about how reality TV stars have no talent, but nobody really judges anything anymore based on like your level of skill. It's, can you keep me vaguely interested in something for a couple of minutes at a time?
okay, but here's another insider baseball that maybe it's why I'm so frazzled about this. Just like some honestly unnecessary marketing knowledge that if you don't work in marketing you don't need to know. But it's like when you're shipping things, if they are really like lightweight, like typically they have to be like a very expensive product in order for it to be like like cost effective. And
or high volume,
or high. That's what I meant. Like it has to be like really high volume, and so hot sauce. It's very low in weight, and what's the most you can? Because every celebrity has like an alcohol deal.
Yeah,
because
that is true. Like every actor now either owns a vineyard or like a winery, or they've got like their own brown liquor.
Because you can sell on volume and also individually to the point where the shipping costs where it's still feasible. Hot sauce does not get there.
We got a 20 from IC All. Episode 666 is upon us, mofos. Ooh, scary or not. It could be a wholesome episode. We shall see. Ooh, don't do drugs. Don't cut your dicks off. Goodbye until next time.
Great advice.
We should just read Revelations.
Here's the thing. She has an everyday American girl sort of vibe to her that I think people find endearing. I don't think that she would have been nearly as effective without the accent. You don't get to copyright the term "bet on that thing" without the accent. "Bet on that thing" doesn't have the same ring to it.
Listen,
right?
She's a cutie patootie, and like I find the Southern accent the most charming accent in the entire mankind. But it's again like going back to my autistic rant. The hot sauce price point. The profit margins that they're really betting on her is what I'm trying to say. Like for this to be like a profitable endeavor, they're gonna have to sell hella hot sauce.
We'll have to wait and see. But look, this is one of those things. We live in a world now because of social media. You don't actually have to have a specific skill set. An endearing personality is enough to package someone as something, right? Like when you think about it. Rachel Ray can cook. Does that mean that you build an empire of cooking products and stuff like that? No, like millions of women all over the world can cook. It's a matter of the personality that you package with the product that you're selling.
Okay, millions of people can cook nowadays, so it's become a more...
He's talking globally.
I'm talking around the world that, look, you take a skill that plenty of people can do, and you market it around the personality or the image of that person.
I mean, but what are they selling with her? She gonna give everyone like sloppy toppy?
That's exactly what it is. That's what she should be selling. Dessert toppings. That's what she should be selling.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, it really is one of those things where a marketing firm and the right agent and manager can build a celebrity from nothing. They can.
Yeah, and the question everyone is asking is like, does she really deserve the fame? Does she really deserve the money?
It's an irrelevant question.
In
my opinion, it's an irrelevant. It's like saying, does like at least with like Robert Downey Jr., you can make the argument. It's like, yes, he deserves the money. He brought in $10 billion to Marvel. He's made $600 million. $10 billion is a lot more than $500 million. For her, it's a matter of like, is she generating views? Did the episodes with Bill Maher generate views on those episodes? Is every clip of her generating views that attaches to ad revenue?
Here's the thing also. Anything that's in LA has inflated numbers. All those people get ad money, the best sponsors, like everyone that's in California is never as inherently organic as anyone on the East Coast. Never. They always have advertising money. Always.
We were actually talking about this earlier because we were talking about Variety. I was like, do these magazines make any money? Does Variety and Deadline actually make any profit doing what they do? Nobody actually, it doesn't feel like people actually read the articles. We read the articles, but everybody else just, one person reads it for their website and then grabs the best clip from it and then quotes it and then attaches the article that nobody clicks on.
I genuinely think this is like a watershed moment for like terminally online people like myself, because it's like, I think that there is no, similar to how that Snow White chick, she was just an unbearable shitlib, and for some reason, like, she bared the grunt of people being like, oh, she's the worst, blah, blah, blah. She was like no different than any shitlib complaining about anything. And this chick is no hotter, no more interesting than any 15 Seconds of Fame chick that has ever been on the internet. So there's really something interesting about when they go and it goes to the next level and the 15 minutes becomes like 15 years.
But why does it anger you so much?
It doesn't anger me. It's really
seemed
no.
angry.
I really come on. I really think it's more like shock and awe and being like what's going on here. Like
The fact that we consider it topic worthy for the show proves that it's that she's earning her keep as is. The fact that people are making the decision to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dane
I'm just saying why? Like why?
In the age of the internet, people need stuff to talk about.
I don't know, but like I feel like if I said that opinion, I don't want to call you a contrarian like for the 50th time, but it's like I
think you mispronounced right.
Sure.
You don't want to tell me I'm right for the 15th consecutive.
No, I mean sometimes you got it, boo. But like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't even take an opinion on this other than it's what do they call it? The attention economy, right? Your eyes have to go somewhere. Everyone's looking for something to monetize in some way. What makes her any different than some actor that's actually talented when nobody goes and sees the movies anyways?
But again, like my fascination on this is like my business is to know like tactics and strategies and topics and like how to be popular, marketable, presentable, and things like that. And like,
Well, I'll tell you
literally flabbergasted me.
One of the things she did early on was talk about how people were talking about it's her only her 15 minutes of fame, which makes her seem relatable, right? She was talking about, well, if I'm going to have my 15 minutes of fame, I'm going to use it for good. Now, I'm sure some marketing strategist told her to say that.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly in line with her personality.
She like donated to a dog shelter
Yeah,
or something.
charities and stuff like that. Look, it's just all it is looking to monopolize your time for ad revenue. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So, all right, what would you like to see? Cute or cringe of the day?
Always cringe first.
Cringe
All right,
first?
always
Okay.
cringe.
Dane has made his decision here. All right. Oh, look who it is. It's the Costco family. They're back.
If it isn't the Costco
Dane loves
family.
these people. These are his favorite
You
people.
promised that there wouldn't be one. I
don't think we-
literally asked.
we actually didn't know until
I literally asked.
when you said that there wasn't any. Sorry, buddy.
And this is their new summer at first sip menu.
We're gonna try everything on the summer menu and give it a boom or a doom.
All right, guys. You
Does
ready to
stuff
try
ever
it?
actually get the doom?
This is the
I don't
summer
think
berry
so.
refresher with lemonade. Let's see if it's a boom or a doom.
I like that they're not even using like a mic. It's just like the onboard
echoey as
mic
hell.
and echoey. It's very endearing.
This is the Bubba straw. It's Bubba, right?
Boba.
That's really good. It's definitely a Bubba boom.
It's my turn, and I'm gonna try the summer skies drink. That's really good. It gets a boom. It's really sweet. It's good.
I really hope the mother of Big Justice takes the coffee. I really don't want the coffee.
It's my turn, and I have the white chocolate macadamia cream cold brew. What's that all about? Let's see if it's a boom or a doom. That's really good. I love coffee, and it's the perfect balance of sweetness. I gotta get another sip.
I'm sorry.
That's a boom!
Imagine being that poor worker in the background who's making minimum wage.
They
just
make
like-
a cameo, actually.
Just like,
at the end.
I ended up with the summer berry refresher with water. Let's see if it's a boom. Big Justice, straw.
Big Justice.
That's what he calls his wife.
I was really hoping to give you guys a doom. I thought the whole watered down version thing would do it, but not happening this time. The summer berry refresher with water and Starbucks get a boom. Even with the water, it's really good.
I got the pineapple cloud cake. Let's see if it's
Dane is literally in hell right now.
Like, who watches this, dude?
pineapple.
A lot of people.
This is literal.
This makes me happy. It's definitely a boom. I love this thing.
I like his
Actually,
voice.
I think that it's a Bubba boom.
Now let's try the orange cream cake pop. This is really good.
We
gets
get
a
it. You like it.
We want to thank Elizabeth, Alexis, and Olivia for having us here at Starbucks.
See, they even included the
new Starbucks
employees at
summer
the
menu
end.
gets a big boom.
All right.
These people are gonna swing the election.
How? Can you tell me? How?
Kamala Harris gets a big boom. Like I don't
Honestly, probably. Like probably.
No, they seem Republican.
know. And every mouth reading freaking idiot's gonna be like, I want a boom. Like I don't. What's the demographic?
Registering
If
to
not-
vote is boom.
That's exactly what it is.
Listen, if reading the by the way, if reading the Honor War is like perfectly respectable, like 120 IQ, like what's this?
It's 100. It's
100.
It's 100.
100?
Yeah. It's 100.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, in the era of brain rot, it really all of it could.
100 is above the average IQ.
In terms of brain rot, this isn't the worst. It's definitely not the worst.
What is worse?
The stuff I send Mary most of the time on Instagram is the worst of the brain rot you're gonna get. I sent her this one the other day of Kanye and Taylor Swift singing some type of skibbity song. That was just, it went on forever.
Yeah, I kept expecting it to end, and it
just
didn't.
kept going.
Brett sends me like Joe Biden rapping.
I don't send you anything anymore these days. We haven't.
You say like I can pull it up right now. Why are you denying me?
What did I send you? What was the last thing I sent you?
He's always like, I'm some fling that he used to have. Like, I don't send you anything anymore.
I don't send many memes at all. Like,
I send him to Wesley now.
I don't send them.
And Wesley
Brett
just
has a new
speaks really
favorite.
low voice. Like, what?
Are we done?
Are we done, Brett?
Yes, we're
Do
done.
we have cute?
We do have cue to the day.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is from Tony Flags. I don't know if we did. I had a bunch show up in that I'm not sure if we did already. So if I have shown these before, guys, let us know. But this is our gorgeous lurcher called Lady. She left us in January. She was incredibly special to my wife and I. The pic of her and me at the beach was one of the best days of my life. Consider sight sounds when adopting a dog. They're really amazing. Sight hounds?
cute.
Sight hounds.
R.I.P. Lady.
It's a very cute dog.
My first dog was called Lady.
So regal.
Yeah.
If it was a guy, I would say what a distinguished gentleman.
Cute.
Look at that. All right, let's do one more here. Rest in peace. All right, this one's from George. He says, this is our dachshund. I hope I'm not too late. It's been a busy week. This is our dachshund, Posey. Held up high.
Aw. Like Simba.
That is very cute. Deerfest 2024.
Where's it? Oh.
All right, let's do one more. I got a bunch here. All right, this is from Will. It says, this is my dog, Reno. He is a Great Pyrenees. Is that how you pronounce that? Pyrenees
Yeah.
mix. I picked him up at a shelter a few years ago, and now my parents send me pictures of him while I'm away from home. Look at this. That is adorable.
Aw.
That is very cute. All right, guys. Let us move on. Let's get started. You're going to have to tell everyone who Ilona Maher is.
Yeah, because the Olympics are going on right now, a particular athlete in women's rugby is getting a lot of attention right now, and her name is Ilona Maher. So it started when this video was posted on Twitter from her TikTok, where she was singing along to an Olivia Rodrigo song. And she was just, you know, having fun, posting something totally harmless and meaningless on TikTok. But when that got posted, most of the comments were essentially saying that she is secretly male. They were all saying that she is a man. One said, that's a dude. Another one said, nothing Brooke Shields about that guy. Another one was saying, oh, I can't find it now, but most of them were basically just saying that Ilona Maher is a dude because she is very tall, very muscular, has a strong jawline, and is just a very masculine looking chick.
She looks like
especially
Brock
because of
Lesnar.
the sport that she plays. In
crazy?
rugby, you have to be.
Yeah.
So,
You want to watch the first clip here? Is this the one, this one?
well, we can't have it with sound because it's
Oh,
Olivia
is
Rodrigo
it?
on the
Okay.
audio. But she was just, you know, having fun dancing on TikTok, and that was the response it got. And after that, Ilona Maher decided to address the allegations, I guess. This is called transvestigation, when people create theories that someone is secretly trans.
Is that this one here?
Yeah, this was actually back in 2022 that she posted this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
People are going to be confused when they see this.
Yeah, well, we have tonal issues, as we've discussed on time and time again. The show absolutely has tonal issues. Here we go. Let's listen to her, what she had to say.
This is a super great question, and I'm super happy to answer it. Every day I get called masculine, I get called manly. I get people in my comments asking if I'm a dude just to hurt me. And it wouldn't be honest if I said, it doesn't affect me at all, I'm fine. It does affect me in a way when I read those, because I feel beautiful, I feel feminine in my own way, and then I read these comments of people just really purely to be mean. I'm someone who puts a lot of stock in what other people say, and I care a lot what other people think about me. It's something I'm.
That's actually a brave thing to admit.
It's kind of bold, yeah.
In 2024, like that's a very brave thing. Like everyone wants to pretend like they don't care what other people think or say. I would argue that most people are coping.
I appreciate the vulnerability.
At least to varying levels. I think they're coping. There's a $20 one there from Nate. He says, "Got to interrupt. 100 IQ. Pretty sure that's exactly average."
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
what
95.
I meant. That's exactly what I meant.
Trying to get better with, but it's how I am for now. What really annoys me about it is that they're also saying this to other young girls, and they're saying it to other girls who have broad shoulders, muscles, and strong jawlines, and making them feel a certain way and making them question their own beauty and how they perceive themselves. So it doesn't affect me as much because I have been through that as a young girl. People always said those things to me, and it really hurt me as a young girl. But I've slowly gained that confidence to love my body, love who I am, love my broad shoulders, and feel that they're beautiful. And I get to define my own femininity with it. So I'm learning to not care, but I just want all the girls out there to know that you get to feel beautiful in your own way. And people will say a lot of shit because they're insecure just to make you feel that way. And it might make you feel that way, but just remember what your body does for you, how beautiful you are, and you get to define your own femininity, your own masculinity, whatever it is.
Okay, this is a real predicament. This is Schrodinger's feminist. Because the spirit of the age is almost a tacit acknowledgement that trans women are women. Like, there is no distinction. They're women.
From the establishment, yes.
Right. From normie factory settings people and political establishment.
Sure.
Fair? Mm-hmm. Right. So, this is the admission almost in a way that, hey, because why are they asking if she's a man? It's, it's the trans discussion. It's the different political ideologies of like how they define a male or a female. And this happens a shit ton in gaming spaces. A bunch. I'm recently getting into Magic the Gathering, and there's this influencer. Her name is Amazonian, I believe. And I think her pin post was about this, but like the complete opposite take. This I found like being like super like transparent and heartfelt and whatever. The other one's like, oh, it doesn't offend me. I don't mind the question, and like I'm not gonna like give it any energy. And then people's like, are you though? She's like, no, like I'm not trans. But it's like
because they don't want to say no, I'm not, and then have to say no, but not that there's anything wrong with
But it's interesting because it's an admission. I feel that it does. Oh my God, I'm just playing.
Would you say it's a tacit admission that there are such a thing as male traits?
That it bothered that in a way the comparison bothers them, and it's not to the point where it's like
yeah, like I saw someone
I'm really trying to play around
some girl posted a video and then had to add a disclaimer afterwards and say, hey, a lot of people for some reason think that I'm trans, but I'm not. And then someone commented like, wow, that's really offensive. And she was like, I wasn't offended at all.
That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't offended. I just needed to clear the record, like just say it. And it's like, no, like it's okay if you were offended because it would be normal for you to be offended at the idea that you're male, obviously.
Because like, what is the point of the acknowledgement at all? If not?
Yeah, but it's cool that she was vulnerable enough to say that it does bother her instead of acting like she's this, girl boss who doesn't care what anyone says. I think that's more feminine than anything, is like actually being able to show vulnerability like that. And I think a lot of the response to her appearance, claiming that she is male and hiding it, or that she's like secretly trans, a lot of it comes from the current controversies around men competing in women's sports and the space that she's in. Obviously, people are going to be asking questions like that. because there is this very justified moral panic about that situation that's happening. So I think that's part of what's happening here. But ironically, it's counterintuitive to the entire argument that men shouldn't compete in women's sports, because you are putting women into a very narrow definition where you have to look a certain way to be female, when, you know, you can theoretically achieve those ends by cosmetic surgery and synthetic hormones and how you dress and the makeup you put on. But in reality, none of those cosmetic features are substantive to being a woman. They're all accidental properties that, you know, women happen to have.
It also leans into the discussion about, look, being a woman is not inherently just a grab bag of traits. You can be high in some things and low in other things, and there are masculine looking women and there are more feminine looking men, and that's the reality of the world. And that as soon as you try boxing people up into categories like that, that's when you get into movements like that. Her admission that it bothers her was actually really, really refreshing to me. It was.
Yeah,
it really was.
There was another video that she posted more recently addressing all of these claims, where she was like very upset and in tears.
Sorry, also like brief interjection, especially since you're going to talk about like how she was really upset. The dissident right has to, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I feel that whether she's trans, female, whatever, like this subject, I feel should warrant a lot more sympathy, because like I feel that, I don't know, like it really is like something happened in the culture where it's like all like fully on the offensive. And if you're like from, I mean, as I am, like from some like slightly like religious like angle, like empathy should be part of a consideration.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a harassment campaign every time. A mean-spirited harassment campaign, and like you can't say that you don't care while also like doing, you know, like non-stop like, what are you doing? It's like let it slide off your back at some point, dude.
Should we watch this video?
Yeah, let's take a look at
To
this.
be very real here for a second, as you can probably tell, I've been crying a little bit. I always get these comments, but like recently it kind of ramped up. Was I get comments being called a man and being called masculine and asking if I'm on steroids. There will always be negative people out there, and they put women in a box, and they think of women should be fragile and petite and quiet and meek, but that's not the case. Women can be strong, and they can have broad shoulders, and they can take up space, and they can be big. I think I'm getting emotional because I feel very passionate about this. Don't let anybody try to define or dictate how you feel about yourself. You get to decide that. To be very real here for
It's just funny because obviously physically she has a lot of masculine traits, but as soon as you hear her talk and you see her interacting, it's very obvious that she's a woman, and there's sort of a more intangible quality to femininity that goes beyond just how you look. And I remember when we were talking about that like Strong is Beautiful campaign with all of those female rugby players wearing lingerie to promote that brand. They were trying to legitimize their own existence and the way that they look by asserting that, like, I can be sexy too. And, you know, maybe you shouldn't try to seek that kind of validation from being found like sexually attractive by the majority of men, because, you know, clearly you're not, but you're still excelling at what you do, obviously. Like, it's impressive what she does for a living, and that's like something to be celebrated in its own right. And as long as this is what a minority of women are pursuing, why is that a problem? You know, like why would anyone feel threatened by that?
I mean, it's also, she's getting a lot more attention now, so the amount of negative comments she's going to get is going to, you know, grow at a commensurate rate to the attention she's getting. You don't get to grow in popularity and have the negative comments stay at the same amount. It's a lot easier to handle when you're at a moderate level of success, but once you reach that certain point, no human being was designed to read the thoughts of just every person that has a passing idea about them. You're not designed to be constantly flung negative attention all the time. And people who say that they take it perfectly well every time, yes, a small minority might be able to do that. But most people, you know, at the very least, it's going to make you second guess a little bit.
Sure,
it's going to make you a little bit self-conscious.
Everyone wants to be liked.
And it's an important point where you're saying it's a passing comment. Like a lot of people, they're just like negative on the internet. By the way, guilty of like just posting something negative and then completely disregarding the fact that it's another human being on the line. But what I think is what's interesting about this scenario is that her genuineness evokes the spirit of sympathy, empathy, and understanding of her argument completely. And, you know, I feel like our side of the aisle, which is like a conglomeration of a bunch of things, we're typically characterized as being like callous, like we're like anti-women, anti-diversity, anti-whatever. And it's never that. Like, I just like want to emphasize for the millionth time, it's the prepackaged corporate, you know, checking a box, stereotyping BS that's become popular culture. It's not, in a way, I feel that is
the dunking on her a political thing?
I think so, because it's like she's being used as a wedge against like the trans people, and like trans is inherently political.
Okay, I mean that doesn't seem to be what, like, this just
the
seems
last
like
thing you'd want to
schoolyard
do.
arguments saying that somebody who doesn't look traditionally feminine is a man doesn't. I mean, I understand that the point that you were making, that the injection of trans individuals into sports makes that part of this discussion, but it feels more like what happens when you allow 1,000 schoolyard bullies to yell at you online, and the argument would be made to just don't read the comments. I understand that how can you be cyberbullied, just close the computer. That's the point, right? But not everyone can do that, and that seems to be the result of what's happened here.
I don't know, but she's also an Olympic athlete who apparently is like performing well. Like to some point, like she's worked to the point where maybe she's interesting to see, like the well-deserved validation that she's gonna get from the internet.
What she should do is just take heed and, like, you know, just be like, look, I'm better than you at. I could probably beat you up anyways.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I
she
feel
should be
like
saying to
if she like posted a mirror selfie and captioned it like "F the haters," then I would feel a lot less sympathetic toward her. I appreciate that that's not what she did. I appreciate the approach that she made toward the topic, and just admitting that, you know, she struggles to not care what people think of her.
Fake online bravado is amongst the worst,
truly,
of the traits. Like
snark.
It's right down the road from woe is me, which I hate more than any of it. Like, love complaining, don't like complaining about your own situation.
You hate woe is me more than snark?
I consider them pretty much at the same level of awful. Yeah.
There was also another video I wanted to show from her TikTok where she was like fantasizing about marrying a random guy that she was in line with.
Hey, I thought only guys did that. I thought only guys went on the subway and fell in love with girls they were next to on the subway.
A man just talked to me. He asked if I could move forward in line because I was holding everyone up. I don't know. I think our wedding colors would be like a forest green or something.
That was like the most endearing thing I've seen.
I know.
Yeah, like she's really cute. I really like her, and that's why people are saying, because there's this appeal to her personality on top of her athletic skill, that she could be in the ranks of Caitlin Clark.
She's acting more girly than the average girl acts these days. Like,
seriously,
the most feminine looking girl does not act that girly these days.
Yeah, yeah. Applaud it.
Let's go Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Woman Wednesday, Brett, Marion, Dane, every woman font. I agree with Dane. Hawk Tuah is stupid. Now she's going to have hawk sauce. WTF."
The free market decides what's stupid, guys. Sorry.
Again, dude, I feel like people are like, I am like not even a person sometimes with topics. Like I'm like a vehicle for people's opinions. Like, I don't remember calling her stupid. I think it's like, I think that the circumstance is stupid. That she's like, I don't know.
People are getting tired of feeling like these industry plants are kind of
Yeah,
shoved
it's
in their
that. It's the
faces.
exhaustion of.
By the way, I went back and looked. I was just curious what the last thing I sent Dane was. It was a woman in a wheelchair pole dancing.
Oh my god.
Or attempting to pole dance.
At 2 a.m. he's like, hey, here's a meme.
Yeah.
That's
You up?
going in the HR complaint.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said Dane is wrong about Tuah. She is a national treasure.
And this is the subjectivity of it, right? Like everyone gets to decide what matters to them, and the people who profit the most are marketing firms and agents.
Yeah, Beelzebub Inc.
Shane H. Wilder said smorgasbord is Swedish for sandwich table.
Perfect.
And then Pop Culture Junkie added smorgasbord is definitely a Swedish term. I'm half Swedish and my mom used the word a lot.
Well, then someone needs to make an alien sandwich named Smorgasborg.
Why do you need a whole word to describe a table with like sandwiches on it? That's crazy.
Let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said Billy Joe Armstrong aged like an old lesbian.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
It's not untrue.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, we are about to introduce you to the queen of the Karens, possibly the worst Karen on the entire planet. And she recently went viral because she was leading a Zoom call of white women for Kamala Harris. She is
Karens for Kamala.
Yes, Karens for Kamala would be a more appropriate title. She's a former teacher turned influencer that infantilizes the white women for Kamala Harris and suggests that white women should never correct black women. So she is instructing all of them with her gentle parenting voice to check their privilege.
Is that this one right here?
From Tenet? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here we go, guys.
Ariel Fodor, affectionately known as Mrs. Frazzle to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this.
Gosh,
election.
I'm sorry. The way that the top of her teeth like peek out.
Gentle parent us
Sorry, that's
through. Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Pfizer is just like cha-ching.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online.
I'm surprised she's not doing hand puppets to do this with.
She might as well, right?
Dude, the audacity. Like,
Just remember that the best way to do your part is to segregate everyone into race and gender groups before having them speak, and then wondering why. You know what it proves is like their authoritarian hold on their own message is so strong they don't even need to talk to each other. They can literally self-segregate into their own weird Pfizer-induced communities and then talk amongst themselves while saying the same thing as a group they have no conversations with because they've all self-segregated because they all fall right in line with the message.
But also,
and she will be the authoritarian who makes sure that you do not deviate from whatever they tell you.
The audacity of like every 5 words she makes a statement that she assumes is like a literal fact, and it's incredible. She's like, dude, the greater good at one point she says, like, it's crazy.
Here we go.
And navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself. As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Is that just admitting that there is no truth? Like, if you actually are correcting a mistake that someone made and you're not supposed to do that, is that just to say that truth is relative and they don't care?
There's no situation in which a BIPOC woman could be wrong. So
God forbid it.
If you're trying to correct a BIPOC woman, that means you're wrong. So we're gonna put on our listening ears.
Honestly, the part about telling me that I'm not allowed to isolate makes me more angry. It does.
It says everything about the audience for this.
What? What do you mean not isolate?
Like, it's my God-given right to not have to talk to any of you. It's my God-given right to isolate myself.
By God, I'll use it.
Yes.
I want to not speak to any of you.
Learn from and amplify the voices of those.
I reject the idea that we're better as a community. I reject it. Whole hog. You're allowed to be
all of you.
You're allowed to be perfectly fine on your own.
Have been historically marginalized and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change. As white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn. So check your blind spots.
Oddly enough, it's a white woman that's the arbiter of what you have to learn and unlearn.
Yeah.
You are responsible for your algorithm, believe it or not.
Well, that's actually true.
So that's Ariel Fodor, also known as Mrs. Frazzled on social media. And this is her entire brand. She was kind of toning it down for the Zoom call, but her entire brand is using gentle parenting language to indoctrinate people into her weird leftist views. She speaks to everyone as if they are 5 years old, to condescend to them. And I've never seen a better example to explain what the Longhouse is. This woman is the Longhouse. That Zoom call is the Longhouse. So let's watch another one of her videos where she gentle parents us into her ideology.
Dear God.
Macaroni cheese, everybody freeze. Uncle Don, no one wants to take your gas stove. No, friend, they just want you to know about your gas stove. Do you see how it says natural gas? Yeah, they just want to put a little warning sticker on your stove so that you know that it actually means methane gas. Yeah, the one making the world warmer. Yes, that is really happening. Can you catch a bubble, please? California has used stickers to warn people about chemicals for a long, long time, and the stickers are nothing to be afraid of. I promise. They just want people to know about the health impacts of burning gas so that we can be safer. Yeah, because people like me, I have asthma. I need to be careful around burning things. I know, I didn't know either. And that's why they're saying that there should be more information so people can learn about that. Nobody is coming to take your stove. Take a deep breath, please. Smell the flour. Blow the soup. Yeah, I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask for either. Do you want to sign this paper with me? Okay, let's do it. Learning new things is great. I'm glad you're not scared anymore. Back to cooking, sure. Let's just turn on the range hood and crack a window, though. Macaroni cheese, everybody free.
Yeah, so when she's instructing the listener to not interrupt, she says, catch a bubble. So you catch a bubble in your mouth and close your mouth so that you can listen to her teach you.
So the assumption of a midwit is that their intelligence is at least, middle of the line. Mm-hmm. I, as a completely reasonable art of war enjoyer, somewhat mid IQ person, understand that when you speak in such a tone, it is dismissive and condescending, and so literally simply by the nature of it, no lessons will be learned. Thus,
yes,
I am gonna use a transitive. What's the transitive? Transitive. I will use.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're dissociating. It's fine.
Not on purpose. I apologize. This woman.
You're sweating.
This woman would nuke you in 10 seconds. She would.
Because Macron called her fat.
Yes.
So she hit the big red button.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, I saw one of the replies say not beating the only ever evolved to have authority over children allegations.
Dude, Freud would be slobbering over this.
Yeah, but you're right. It's funny because I remember as a child, I hated being spoken to this way. Not even children resonate with this kind of condescending tone, let alone your, conservative boomer uncle who's arguing with you about gas stoves. It's literally just a virtue signal to the rest of the internet that already agrees with everything she's saying. She has another video where she is gentle parenting big oil. Gentle parenting all of the big oil companies.
I should have played you. There's a actually, you know what? Okay, we'll show this and then on. I got one.
Okay.
This one?
Yep.
Hi, friends. It's time to share the Arctic now. Your turn is all done.
Yeah.
Got it. I know you like when people share with you. Well, you need to share the Earth with everyone, plants, animals, and people. The White House had to take special action to protect 13 million acres of land in the Alaskan Arctic because the Arctic is a super special place. Yeah, people need gas for cars these days, but there are more respectful ways to do it.
More respect.
All taking things from super special places hurts nature. So let's turn your choices around and find ways to help the Earth instead. Did you know places like the Arctic need to stay cool to keep our planet the right temperature? When you protect places like the Arctic, you are helping keep the Earth cool. And touch your listening ears. Because you made sad choices, now you need to stay in your area. And these 13 million acres of protected land over here are not for you anymore. Does that make sense? Okay? Okay. Now we know special places need to be protected, and we're all done taking up space that's not ours. Shine on for protecting our planet.
You know what? You know what else is funny is obviously her entire brand is the gentle parenting thing, and she speaks to everyone like they're 5 years old. But realistically, I don't think that this woman has any children.
There's no way.
I don't think she has any children. I don't think she's going to have any children, probably because she is such a climate ideologue and has this mindset that, you know, having children would be bad for your carbon footprint.
Yes.
But, you know, she needs to treat the entire internet as children because she has none. And clearly that's the only way that she's able to exercise authority over anybody. I mean, and she's on a total power trip. That's why she's so infuriating.
This doesn't work on any, okay, yes, power trip, right? The point here is that this reeks of the most authoritarian human being that you've ever seen in your entire life. Now, if you want to make fun of big oil, I'm okay with that, right? Like here, I saw this one just yesterday. You'll laugh.
You know that on my page, I've always been a champion for the underdog, like the disturbingly attractive, the filthy rich, and the insanely but deservedly famous. But now I have an even bigger underdog that needs our support. Big oil. The oil and gas industry only made $172 billion in profits in 2023. That's barely even oligarch level. And yeah, sure, they drive climate change, but people are only against that because they look horrible in crop tops. And I've tried my best to help fund the struggling industry. As an occasional taxpayer, people like you and I are the reason that big oil enjoyed subsidies and tax breaks to the tune of $470 billion over the last century. But it's not enough. Okay, obviously I'm joking. This isn't even my sweater. I'd never wear anything so humble looking. But if you want to help go defund big oil by demanding that our leaders work to remove tax breaks for the oil and gas industry, click on the link in my bio.
I would rather see that propaganda than her propaganda any day of the week.
Dude, because the thing is, snark is wit simulacra. It is the attempt for the humorless to convey humor, which is potentially the most convincing state of being of all humanity.
Hers is at least what Musings of a Crouton, which is who that one is a more layered comedian. Not just an ideologue who wants to indoctrinate a bunch of people. Maybe she does believe these things, but she puts her art first.
Yeah.
You want to call it art?
Right.
That's and you get more people on your side. Look, I don't agree with either of them, but I'm going to at least listen to the other one. I'm not going to listen to somebody condescend and speak to me in a voice of the authoritarian mom who sends you to your room because you didn't finish dinner.
When I see Mrs. Frazzled, all I think about is Yuri Vesmanov. When he was talking about like how some like the communists have infiltrated your country and they like completely like propagandize like a part of the population, and to which he gets promptly asked, so how do you unbrainwash these people? He's like, you don't like, you literally, it is incumbent upon you to now raise another generation and instill values upon them. And it's like this, like, how do you reason with this person?
You cannot.
That speaks to you like a baby. She thinks you're a baby. Like, how do you be like, Like, do you?
Once again, I mean, only ever evolved to have authority over children allegations are still going strong because this woman speaks to everyone like they're 5 years old due to the fact that she has no children of her own. Obviously, there is some kind of Freudian unfulfilled void in her life, and this is the way that she chooses to have authority over people because, again, she is power hungry. And
that's all I see when I see that is just somebody who's desperate to lord over you.
Yeah.
The moral busybody is the worst type of villain because they will never stop torturing you because they're doing so because they believe it is for your own good. I would rather somebody just want to harm me than try to harm me for my own good.
Yeah, but I agree with you that, you know, if you're going to try to propagandize me, at least do it well.
Yes!
Let me buy into it.
There's plenty of comedians that I like that make that type of satire that are very much, you know, not even like an old school liberal like me, but leftists, right? That have leftist causes. That if you can at least give me funny comedy that speaks against something that I believe in, I'm willing to entertain that because I find the comedy engaging. What I just heard there wasn't comedy. It was just weird propaganda for people who are going to die and be eaten by cats.
This woman's existence in and of itself is an argument for repealing the 19th, but I'm going to stop talking.
But here's the problem, right? Like, people can make that claim. People can make that claim all they want, right? It's a losing argument because it's never going to happen, and the right loses the female vote more and more with every election. How do you combat
because women like this exist?
Mrs. Authoritarian? How do you push back against baby talking Mrs. Authoritarian? You can't, because she's going to speak to more and more women as they don't get married and don't have kids, and it's going to get worse and it's going to get worse until one day I am being lashed for my own good because I need to learn a lesson.
It is a gigantic catch-22 because it's impossible to communicate to the people that think I'm a baby and are incapable of understanding the abstractions themselves that when I criticize her, it is not a slight at women, half or more of the population. It is a criticism of her. I do not hate women. Some say I love women.
Some say you are a woman.
Some say I am every woman.
Yeah.
Yet her archetype rubs me the wrong way. By the way, intentionally, because she's trying to rub me the wrong way.
Right. She's I guess accomplishing exactly what she wanted to do.
I would normally be infinitely indifferent as I am to most people. Should she not speak this way, but she's achieving her desired result and she's angry for it. It's like, what a loop. What a business.
It's kind of sad that someone like this exists because I just feel like if she grew up in a different time and, you know, didn't end up on, you know, antidepressants and going to four-year college, getting indoctrinated, and didn't have social media, she would actually be like normal and pleasant. But now she's been robbed of the opportunity to be normal and
apparently she's
inflicting herself on everyone.
She used to be a teacher.
It says former teacher turned influencer.
It's perfect. It's right up her alley.
Well, at least she's turned into an influencer because I don't want this woman anywhere near kids.
Yeah.
That's at least a good thing.
By the way, we're making a lot of assumptions about her, but we're right.
No, we're right.
Betting odds is we're right about 4/5 of them, for sure.
That she's an authoritarian, I would take as a non-betting man. I would take. It's
a given.
I would put a lot of money on her having high authoritarian tendencies.
All right, let's read super chats. Tacti Plati said, "Dane, hello. Is Adin Ross more annoying than me?"
Huh. Interesting.
I'll
get back to you on that.
Potatoes for Seamus said, "It's every woman. Hi, Dane. I have your hat, by the way."
What? Yeah, you got a hat that says Dane. It's not.
That's not your hat.
I mean, I would. I don't think I have the audacity to wear my name on my head.
I'm looking up what the currency MX is. I guess it's a peso. Sorry if this is equivalent to $20. I didn't know. But he is from Alahad. He said, "Brett, I can't handle how gorgeous you are. Mary, your shirt is pretty. Hi, Dane."
Hello.
And thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate that.
You are looking gorgeous today.
Thank you.
Not that John Stewart said you get strike pay while striking, paid by the union. Is that true? I mean, it's certainly
I'm guessing it's not
enough
close
to live
what
off
they were living.
What a deal.
Yeah.
But I'm just maybe it's just
paid
my
to not
bad
work.
it's my bad view of commies and unions, but I see them going, not gonna work, and then they get really excited to not work.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
No, it's kind of an offshoot of what we were just talking about, right? It's not just that she wants to indoctrinate you; it's that she would love to use force to indoctrinate you for your own good. They're like, look, I don't want to work, but now I get to not work for a good reason. Huh? For the good of others. I am now going to be lazy in the name of equality.
Yeah, it's virtuous. Shane H. Wilder said, hopefully this doesn't delay Dark Pictures' anthology directive 80/20. The game series is very character-driven and built on famous actors being mocapped.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do. I mean, it's gonna be very hard to do if the actors can't cross the picket lines to go get mocapped.
Tacti Platy said, Dane, give it 10 more years and you'll be bitter like me.
Don't let them win. Don't fall to the bitterness. Do like the best thing you can do when you get done. Like today's particularly bad because that topic was truly awful. Yeah. It's like letting Mary pick all the topics is kind of like giving kids keys to the liquor cabinet and the car, and then you get a bunch of topics like this.
What a metaphor.
Yeah.
But what you do is at the end of the day, you go home and you wash the filth of the day off you, and you just try to live a normal
Retain
life.
your whimsy.
Like when I saw these videos of that girl, I saw 30 seconds and I just turned it off. You know why?
Yeah.
That's a healthy decision.
You know why? Because life is too short.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to sit at home and yell all of that to my TV as I hold my phone out in front of me like that. Because that's exactly what would happen. I'd be going like this and not speaking to anyone. And my landlord would be like, what the fuck is he doing up there? Like, I can't do that.
Dude,
I can't.
Sorry.
I mean, that's what Twitter is, right? Twitter is designed to just leave you in a bad mood. Like what I've done to because I had to put Twitter back on my phone to be able to do my job effectively, unfortunately, is I've moved it to such a hard to find page on my phone that my hand just doesn't go by there by process. So I have to go
Intentionally.
swipe just to get to Twitter to keep it away from my general prying eyes because it just makes my day worse.
We got a 20 from Matt. He said, the last pop punk musician who doesn't suck is Ronnie Radke. Have you heard his new song, All My Life? It's a country pop punk song, and Ronnie put Blair White in it to troll people who called him transphobic. Yeah, I think some other people were super chatting about his song as well. I don't listen to any of his new stuff, but I do like Escape the Fate and Falling in Reverse a lot.
Dude, I'm an incredibly pragmatic person. Like I drive a Camry, and I'm profoundly proud of that. And when I say this is the average DC person over there, I am not exaggerating. And this is the reason why during the pandemic, I signed a lease to a different area without looking at the place. I would never advise anyone to do this, by the way. But I was literally so sick of dealing with people like that. I was like, I need to move immediately. I did it all over the car. God bless Tammy. She hooked me up. But it was like, I was like, literally, I cannot stomach another day. Like, I need to know that I'm leaving this place.
Did you, were you actively dating while you lived in DC? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume that a lot of them fit this archetype to some degree or another.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I mean,
you don't have to go into detail.
I've
already heard some stories that are absolutely insane.
I've been told that she does have kids.
Does she? Oh,
Yes.
that's worrying.
Wow.
If that's true,
that's frightening.
Sucks to be that
frightening
kid.
for the future.
Can't tell CPS to take him away. I'm sure he's fed. I'm sure they.
It gets better.
Yeah.
You'll be 18. You'll move out.
And you'll hate being talked to like a child.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine being married to her?
No, dude, imagine being her kid as she's lectures. Like, listen, I'm not.
I mean, being married to her is so much worse.
She's
so much worse.
She's definitely like the head of the HOA. Listen, in this organization, we cut our lawns every Saturday, and then you get fined.
No. Catch a bubble.
catch a bubble.
Let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back after the fact. All right, time to talk about the brand new AI hellscape, wearable AI.
Yes. So we've talked about AI replacing our gerbs and AI replacing romantic relationships, but a new technology that was just launched yesterday is attempting to replace friendship with AI. A friend that you can wear around your neck, and it is literally just called Friend. It was posted by Avi Schiffman, who is a young tech prodigy, a Harvard dropout. I did a little bit of a deep dive into his personal history yesterday, and it was all disturbing. But before we get into any of the details, let's watch the promo video that they put out. It is kind of dystopian.
Honestly, this guy's getting off easy today because after the last topic, this just doesn't seem. This seems more benevolent to me somehow. All this is showing you is the lengths men will go to get laid.
Oh my god!
If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is.
Dude's like, gonna get it in.
Something right there.
I guess so. We'll see.
Woo!
I feel like they were that was actually the actors at the end and they broke. They
maybe.
laughed. The part at the end was too like not awkward to be part of the skit.
Dude, whoever sequenced these topics of both of you, bravo. Because clearly that lady needs this. It's like, are you an unlovable shitlib? Does no one want to speak to you, including your husband and your children?
You know, if the
now you have
AI
a friend.
if the AI friend is a true friend, it should be able to call you out when you're in the wrong. But
well, it told
basically
the dude he sucked at video games, so it's
first
clearly
thing,
a guy friend.
If they're trying to market this as something that is good for your life, like a net positive for your life, that you're having a real friendship with AI. Why would they choose to put such eerie and unsettling music over the promo video? Clearly, he is playing into how disturbing this whole idea is
it's
to
a
get
literal
attention.
Black Mirror episode.
Right, literally. So to explain further, if you guys are listening rather than watching, this is an AI-powered wearable pendant that you wear around your neck. It listens to all of your conversations in order to become an expert on your personality.
This dude has a backroom deal with the NSA, and everything you are saying is going straight to the government.
We'll get to that. But it becomes an expert on your personality, on your interests, on your life story, so that it can become closer to you than any real life friend you have. And it texts you like contextual responses to what's going on around you.
If I could get my own version of this, of Tad Bromwell, the friendly FBI agent who's secretly on our side, who's been surveilling us for the last... My favorite meme category is the ones, it's like me saying this, my FBI agent responding.
It's literally your FBI
That's what
agent.
this is.
So this San Francisco tech bro, Avi Schiffman, posted this yesterday on National Friendship Day. And he posted, "Friend is an expression of how lonely I felt. I want to thank all the incredible artists and engineers who have helped me bring this work to life over the past year. You have truly given me a deeper appreciation for the art I see in everyday objects. We can't wait to hear how Friend fits into your life. Thanks for checking us out."
I mean, personally, I don't want to take friendship advice from a person whose selling point is about how lonely he felt.
Yeah, so to give context to why he said that, as I looked into Avi Schiffman's personal history, back when this guy was 17 years old, still a high school student, he started the first ever website to globally track COVID numbers.
He was an authoritarian even before he was an adult.
Yeah, he was one of the first people who invented a technology to contact trace COVID cases. And he launched this website as a 17-year-old in early January 2020. He already was on it.
I bet you the NSA built him in a lab. like,
I know.
17 years ago.
I know.
And everyone in his high
He was
school was like,
literally,
"You're
he's
a
a test
weirdo."
tube. He's a test tube baby from a lab at the NSA.
And this was so widely celebrated. He was presented an award for it by Dr. Fauci. And clearly he never got the memo that lockdowns were over because he got so lonely that he decided to create an AI friend for himself.
Bro, this is a Final Fantasy villain origin story. Like, this is
Like,
unreal.
in the movie, he's the bad guy.
Yes.
So this costs $99 for one of the wearable pendants, if any of you guys are interested in the product.
How much? Sorry?
$99.
You just know that thing, like when you've come in contact with a new person, your AI friend says like, have you gotten your new COVID booster?
I'm sure it
my
would.
God.
Like you get those
suggestions
texts
too.
from like Walgreens that tell you to get your flu shot. It's like,
Or like the Trump campaign text messages.
Yes.
It's like,
yeah.
They're the worst.
Mary, why aren't you answering me?
I have a mission for you,
Before
Dane.
you get too worried about the future of humanity, though, Schiffman is quick to note that he doesn't think AI is a replacement for anything. Quote, I don't think that this should be the only person you should talk to. Well, it's not a person. It's an algorithm. It's not a person. He tells me at one point, obviously anticipating the question that he knew was going to get asked to him.
Yeah, he said, you've heard the maxim about people being the average of the 5 people they spend the most of their time with. Schiffman's theory is that going forward, one of those 5 might be AI. He said, it's just more convenient and it's nice.
You know what it is?
What a great explanation.
You know what it is? It's, you know how like men go to their friends to solve problems. Women go to their friends to hear their problems, parroted back to them and told that they didn't do anything wrong. It's just going to start.
What that's for?
Yeah, like the women will be told, like, look, whatever happened, look, you had every right to throw his clothes out the window. He was being a dick. And the guys, your AI friend will tell you you're a loser.
He said he originally thought of this as a productivity help, but realized that it should be a friend instead. The friend goes with you anywhere, experience things with you, and just be there with you all the time. He says it's very supportive, very validating. It'll encourage your ideas. It's also super intelligent. It's a great brainstorming buddy, and you can talk to it about relationships and things like that.
Do you guys have any conceivable idea how expensive friend.com would be?
Oh, I know. He spent $1.8 million of investor money buying the domain friend.com and has yet to unveil a product, which just screams Theranos to me.
Dude, this guy, like, we could have saved this guy with an old school Xbox 360 lobby, a headset, some pizza, and just
it
a
looks
Call
like
of
a
Duty.
pocket watch. It looks like a pocket watch that you wear around your neck.
Well, he's selling this as a solution to the mental health crisis and the so-called epidemic of loneliness. In reality, I think that he... Oh, thank you.
I dance as we describe
I
the
was
horrors.
also told apparently Mrs. Frazzle is married too. So.
Dance through the pain.
Mrs. Frazzle is apparently married too.
Got it.
Amazing. Wow.
But I think that in reality, Avi Schiffman is hoping to get super rich off of people being miserable and alone. I think that's clearly the goal here.
What is more manipulative, this or the AI sex bots?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, I guess probably the sex bots because sexuality is just so much more visceral, but this is still pretty bad. I know that AI chatbots and robot friends are popping up in a number of different places, and we've talked about that, but the idea of it following you around all day, collecting data on you, all of your whereabouts, who all of your friends are, transcribing all of your conversations in order to become an expert on you, and no doubt take note of like your preferences so that it can sell your data to China. It's just another level of sinister dystopian nonsense, and I want nothing to do with it.
One of the most important things about real world friendship is that any attention given to you is done at the expense of a person's own time. So when you have a friend and he decides to come spend time with you, go do something together, have a conversation, they're doing so by sacrificing their time that they could be spending doing something else because they value your friendship at a specific level. When you pay $99 for something whose only job is to listen to you and then give you an automated response back, that's not friendship, not in any feasible way that a human being can show.
Yeah, it is a narcissistic admission by them that's like validation is friendship.
Yep.
Right, he said openly, it's more convenient. It's more convenient than having a real friend because
the whole point of friendship is that it's not always convenient.
Right, it's not reciprocal. You don't have to care about friend. It's a completely one-sided relationship where friend only cares about you and all of your relationships and your first dates and your problems.
Yeah, do you get to ask this about the last time it went on a date?
Yeah, and also imagine all the terrible advice it's gonna give. Like, let's say he's on a date and he was genuinely a creep. The thing is not gonna tell you like,
look,
hey,
how does
dude,
it have the nuance?
hey,
you
dude,
know?
ease off.
Yeah.
Like you're being a freaking weirdo. Like it's gonna be like, you know what? Maybe she's not as understanding about your feelings as I am.
Yeah, Avi admitted himself he has too close of a relationship with friend. I feel like I have a closer relationship with this effing pendant around my neck than I do with literal friends in front of me. That is case in point
Stunning admission.
why I have repeatedly said AI will never be a substitute for real human connection. Because he's openly admitting that he is sacrificing human connection to prioritize a fake connection with a robot that he wears around his neck, a literal chain around his neck.
Also, some of the most loving moments in a relationship, and by relationship I don't only mean romantic, I mean like friendships, etc., come after fights. Sometimes they come after, maybe the person you had a fight with, they had a realization, it's like, hey, Dane, I'm sorry for not listening to you at that time, like, and then you have like a genuine connection. Maybe it's you're like, wow, I really gave this guy the business and like I was wrong. And it's like, hey man, I'm sorry for X, Y, and Z. This is none of that.
That's how a friendship can actually make you grow.
This is emotional, and it's unbecoming.
It's emotional like consumption, basically. Yeah. It's like emotional porn almost.
Yeah, it's unbecoming, it's unnecessary, and I don't know how these people how they see the world is just completely different from me.
I do like the concept of the of what he said about you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Well, yeah, everyone's heard that. He just thinks that one of those people, or maybe all of those people, should be AI people. Yeah. So we're not on the same page.
Would you think that animal could be?
No.
Within that equation, no.
No, I don't.
What if you have very little social interaction? Would it be the 5 shows you watch the most?
It'd probably be like people you
watch
talk to online,
on the internet,
or the stuff that you consume, the media you consume.
Mm-hmm. I also wanted to mention that there's currently beef going on in the AI wearable community because I suppose a former colleague of Avi Schiffman called him out in a rap video, a diss track, for stealing his idea.
Brian, have you seen that show Beef?
This one?
Yep.
Brian, have you seen that show Beef?
No.
It's so good.
Okay. Well, I'll check it
out. You would like it.
Well, you should watch this.
You would like it too. It's really good.
Yo, I'm Nick, and for those who don't know, I built Trend. Renamed your tab, jacked my style, built nothing real, it's been a while. Investor cash, you burn it quick, I'm grinding hard, tracks in my peak. Don't big game, where is the proof? All your guys no roof. I'm the founder, hardware in hand, user Shishido can't understand. I be your jokes, spend a meal on a name, can't ship a thing, just Twitter fame. Friend and yours, running my wave, open source spam, digging your grave. Take a seat, I've learned the grind, you're wasting cash, I'm building in time. Respect the game, respect the source, I'm the real friend, the AI force. Yo.
Listen, Autistic Slavic rap battle was not within my bingo card today. But here we are.
Yeah, so he's challenging Avi Schiffman to a physical fight over this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, how am I
rabbit hole just
how
goes
am I
so
supposed to
deep.
trust this guy to build an AI bot friend for me when he can't even, keep the friends that he had?
A rap battle, no less.
Yeah.
There was also a video of that same guy putting the AI pendant around a crackhead's neck who was totally unconscious and trying to sell the product to a bunch of homeless crackheads. Very weird people. Don't trust these San Francisco tech bros. They are all sick in the head. Yeah. Okay, let's read some super chats.
Let's do it.
Surinko Productions said the Final Fantasy character was Wook Lamont, a cat furry-looking character from Final Fantasy XIV, voiced by Sina Breyer. Okay, I didn't know all the details.
That's the online one. I only partially played that, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
The Rumbling said Bill gave Weinstein vibes during the interview. During the Haley Welch interview on Club
Bill
Random.
Maher. Okay.
That's worrying. But everyone says that he invites like young chicks on his show so that he can flirt with them with plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Like when he invited Bella Thorne. High Voltage 75 said, Dane, what's worse, Hawk Tuah girl or Costco guys? Boom.
I mean, do I even have to say
What if they
it?
collabed? I think that might actually just kill you. You would just watch that and instantly keel over.
The Costco guys, 100%, 100%. No, what would give me a cardiac arrest would be like the Krasenstein and the.
She'd be like, "This is a
Costco
double
guys.
chunk chocolate cookie. I'm gonna give it 5 hawks."
You know what's gonna happen, right? Is eventually they're gonna try the hawk sauce and give it 5 booms.
Wow. And you guys are
We're gonna get 5
it's like, no, Dane, it's gonna be pretty
I
uneventful.
don't care if you haven't been on in 2 months. Like, we're gonna save it for when you come on.
Like, I'll be in a coma.
Like, you're gonna know it. You're gonna know that video's out. And you're gonna stop coming on the show strategically, and we're gonna save it.
Brett, next week you have to pick half the topics, please. Like,
I don't know how this happened.
this was like.
We had stuff we moved for tomorrow.
Yeah.
This was peering into the abyss.
Let's
for
do
2 hours.
3 more.
All right, 200 Watt Studio said, I'm sorry, but Hawk Tuah girl is cute. Girl next door.
She's
Good for
cute.
her. Don't understand all the hate.
Why you guys are so easily impressed?
Like, I don't think he said calling her cute girl next door isn't impressed. He's just saying there's nothing hateable.
Yeah, I mean, again, never mind.
He didn't say Hawk Tuah girl is the second coming of something or other. He just said,
I'm so misunderstood.
Dane is so misunderstood. That's Danzatastic said, did we hear about the shape of the hot sauce bottle? That's important. Yeah. 200 Watt Studio said, Dane just a hater of cute girls with sudden fame.
You should put that on a shirt. I hate cute girls with sudden fame. You should make a shirt of that. Dane merch. Do one
All
more.
right, Olympian McGoth said, I immediately hit mute on my phone when you said what the cringe was. I'll take anything else but these ... people.
Too bad he then had to watch Mrs. Frizzle Frazzle, whatever her name was. And
There's been a lot today.
Yeah. All right, let's ruin Dane's day just a little bit more. Boomers.
It's time for a positive moment in the show today.
We got another cute. I swear, like, I started reading this when you were doing the initial intro, which is very rude. I'm terribly sorry.
Look, Dane, you're ruining the positivity. We are going to have a positive moment in the show today where we talk about all of the great lessons boomer parents imparted on their Xennial children.
They're not just the people that ruined the housing market and stole all the wealth, guys. They're also good parents sometimes.
Sometimes. You know, boomers weren't wrong about everything.
Look, I'm also not one of these. Like, me and Dane clash on this sometimes. I'm not one of those people that dunks on the boomers endlessly. Like, I'm just not. So
most of the boomers' children are around your age, Brett.
Yes.
So there's a subreddit dedicated to the so-called Xennials, who are somewhere between Gen X and Millennial. Most of them have boomer parents, so they decided to start a discussion about the best lessons that they learned being raised by baby boomers.
Do you got any personal favorites that you saw?
Oh,
Mine
yeah.
was the first one.
The first one is the best.
The best, for sure.
He said, I'm 41. Both my parents were born in 1948. They've always been fairly liberal, artsy types. And the best thing I learned from them is that racism, sexism, and homophobia is wrong. And we should all actively work to make the world a better place.
Wow.
Also, that societal expectations are arbitrary and that you should carve your own path and be yourself.
They
Buy McDonald's.
literally took those sayings at the end there off those like motivational posters in your school.
Unfortunately, he added the caveat that they weren't emotionally intelligent enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the rewriting of history that only liberal artsy types told you that you shouldn't hate somebody based on their race, which is just not true.
No, I'm pretty sure no
it's
one
not
even
true.
needs to be taught that that's wrong, actually. It's just something that you're supposed to know.
Inherently no.
My mom was a liberal artsy type. My dad was not a liberal artsy type, and both of them instilled the values in me that you don't hate someone just because they look a certain way. It's completely rewriting history that's a value that only that group.
Aren't these the same people that say racism is taught? Like, whatever. On to a real note. One person said, positive, my dad worked harder than I ever have. Worked 24-hour days when it would snow, worked his regular job for 12 hours. Before the sun was up, he was back at his regular job. I'm so glad I don't have to do that. I feel terrible at times. I kept him up at night with my video games and other youthful BS. It gave me a work ethic like no other. If you want to own your own business, it's best if you don't have any quit in you.
That person has already set themselves apart from the average Zennial. By being an entrepreneur, you're going to have more of an abundance of gratitude for what you're doing, because as hard as you're working, you're doing it to build something of your own, and not having the worker bee mentality tends to be the type of person who doesn't complain as much.
Another one said the best thing I learned from them was not to make excuses and to be independent.
From a boomer. Not to make excuses.
Independent. Yeah.
It's ironic,
What
right?
did I do to you? What did I do to you? Why are you mad at me?
Look, I just know that you're passionate about certain topics, and this is one of them.
Is this the picture you think of when you think of boomers?
Oh my goodness.
It's just two old hippie types playing Jenga?
For me, do you guys know the meme? It's the guy with the wine glass where he's like swirling it around.
Yeah.
And there's like this Spanish song playing in the back.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That's the boomer?
No, we think of the one we used for the picture, which is the guy at the
It's
computer.
called Hiding the Pain Harold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I saw one the other day where it was the two. Did they just look like bourgeoisie people with two glasses of wine? It says these two old folks are voting for Kamala Harris, and all the comments are like, one more FU to the next generation on the way out.
Another one said, the bad probably being taught that my feelings didn't matter. I wasn't allowed to be sad or angry.
No, it's that you're allowed to. It's just you're not allowed to believe that the rest of the world has to give a crap.
See, this is why there's been this massive overcorrection into the gentle parenting archetype, where you have to pay intense attention to every fleeting emotion your child feels, even if they're 3 years old and they don't even know how they feel. You have to say, you know, your feelings are valid no matter what. And you attend to every little discomfort.
Hyper-narcissism. To the majority of the world, your feelings don't matter. They never will matter. And the best thing that you can do is learn to regulate what you're feeling and understand that you will very rarely, if ever, be validated for having certain emotions, because that's not the way the world works.
Just like most things, I think that the new generation of parents is making mistakes that are going to be corrected in the next generation. But the boomers had some things right, just not for the reasons they think. Because obviously the irony here is they emphasized hard work, like strong work ethic, don't make excuses, be independent, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But at the same time, they unwittingly grew up in the most abundant, privileged time period and era and place, if you're American, in human history, and thought that they earned all of it the whole time, and still seem to not have gotten the wake-up call that that's not what everyone else has experienced for the last few decades.
They retain the biggest wealth, and we gotta pay their retirement that we'll never get. I don't know. It's like,
I was born in 79, mom 55 and dad 49, so both boomers. The best thing I learned from them was not to make excuses and to be independent. They were not neglectful, but they weren't helicopter parents, and let me suffer the consequences of my actions when I messed up.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
I like that in all these that they have their little jab in the end. It was like, listen, they kind of sucked, but I learned this.
Yeah, no one asked them about the worst lessons they learned. They just decided to add the negative at the end.
Yeah, this was like heavily edited. Certainly.
I learned how to budget, survive on a poverty level income and persevere no matter what is. A lot of this all seems to come back to like quit complaining and take responsibility for your own actions, which should not be a generational teaching technique.
Yeah, but that is lost on so many people now. Here's one that I knew would resonate with you. They said, instilling a strong work ethic is good. Teaching us that we should work ourselves to the breaking point, put up with shitty bosses, and staying loyal to a company for life for piddling yearly increases, getting passed over for promotion due to office politics, for a company that will lay you off in a heartbeat, not good. Our generation seeks out therapy and work-life balance. Our parents just sucked it up until their hearts literally exploded.
You know, that's the thing I like the most about Gen Z. I feel that Gen Z has that avant-garde attitude where they use all the BS excuses to like get out of work, and honestly, sometimes it annoys me, but even you
kind of respect the hustle.
I completely respect it. At the end of the day, it'd be like, hey, it worked. I don't know.
Like, you know, it's an emphasis on work-life balance, but mostly life.
I'm big on work ethic. I'm big on the hustle is real. I'm big on like it will eventually be rewarded. So I love all those ones at the beginning. Like generally, I like all those ones at the beginning. Like I learned my work ethic, and I admired my father for, you know, working a lot, and he inspired me. I think that's what a man should be, honestly.
Not even just for that reason, but because before the Industrial Revolution, you either did it or you died. Yeah. Okay. And now there's this weird belief that it should be automatically provided to you either by the government or charity. And just because we've instilled stronger forms of social welfare does not mean that at the end of the day, you're still an animal that has to fight to survive. As a society, we actually prevent that from happening. It's the joke I make all the time. It's like literally, we care so much that we prevent Darwinism from even taking effect most of the time.
Something severely wrong must have happened with boomer parenting, though, for young people to be as unequipped as they are, especially when it comes to like knowing how to change a tire, doing like small fixes in their homes. Anything, making an appointment, calling ahead for a pizza delivery, like just basic stuff like that. So this was one that really threw me for a loop. He said, my parents taught me how to do things for myself. I knew how to fix minor things on my car, plumbing, electric. I could mow a lawn, grow some plants. They taught me to cook more than the bare bones. I could do laundry the right way. And my mom actually took time to teach me how to learn. And he's saying this, but the rest of what I hear about boomer parents is that they never taught their kids how to do any of the above.
You don't change your oil, you bring it to a mechanic. You bring it to an oil change service. You don't fix anything on your car, you take it to a mechanic.
Well, more likely than that is actually the boomer dads knew how to do all that stuff. They just didn't want
they could afford
to teach their kids how to do it. For some reason. Why? Like, why is that like a trend specifically with boomers that they didn't want to teach their kids?
I mean, is there any proof that newer generations are doing that? Yeah, they are on YouTube and monetizing it by creating channels that allow people to do that. Like, is there any evidence that newer generations have fixed the errors of their parents? I don't seem to think so.
I don't think so either.
It's gotten worse, not better.
I'm just saying that's the starting point. And the reason there's content like that out there to teach people how to do these basic tasks is just evidence that it wasn't common knowledge anymore because they weren't raised with it.
A lot of this is terrifying. Like, how are we going to maintain the power grid? Like in
we're not
2 generations. Like
the skibbity toilet generation is there's
350 million people. You'll find just enough people to maintain the power
hopefully
grid. This one you'll like. Learning to suck things up and move on rather than dwelling on them. I think they probably took it farther than they should with that. But as I see Gen Z being ruled by their trauma, and don't get me wrong, I love Gen Z. I'm glad I learned to just deal with stuff and press on when I need to.
Yeah, you don't need to reparent yourself.
No,
you don't need to cradle yourself and cry on TikTok.
Like I know, maybe it's all like hierarchy of needs. Like they don't know how to call for a pizza, but they definitely know how to call to set up an appointment with their therapist.
Interesting.
They have to know.
Like they value the therapy more than the pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. They know how to do these things when it's
when you absolutely like
for their own ends.
When it comes down to it, like when you're forced into learning something, you retain it better.
It's exposure therapy. I going back to the friend topic, I tweeted about it, and this guy responded to me saying that he has very little social interaction. He doesn't know how to like form a relationship. He hasn't been dating. So he feels like he could use an AI friend to kind of ease him into the process of getting socialized again. And I told him, like, that is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. What you really should do, if that guy is listening, what you really should do is just exposure therapy yourself. Like, that's the only real form of therapy that does anything for you, is exposure therapy. Throw yourself into the situation that scares you.
There was I don't remember what show I was watching.
Unless it's Knives.
I was watching a show.
Yeah, with certain exceptions.
Where like this girl who's having exactly that problem, she's not social, she doesn't do it. She tasks herself, or maybe it was a therapist in the movie that tasked her with like, every day just go up and say hi to like 5 strangers. Just in passing, start a conversation on a park bench with a stranger, and just force yourself to get comfortable with talking to someone that you normally wouldn't talk to until you feel comfortable doing so.
Dude, that's crazy. That used to be me non-ironically. Like I was completely I would enter any room and leave with a friend about it. And I don't know how I got either beaten out of me or that I don't see the worth in it anymore.
Well, it's also because other people are more antisocial than they used to be. They're kind of going to put you off more likely than before.
Is it also possible that like the boomers did try to teach them and some kids just weren't listening and didn't care?
But that's when your kid mopes about having to learn a new skill, that's when you ignore them moping and you do it anyway because that's the right thing to do.
Make it playful, you know? I don't know.
You know? I don't know. It just doesn't add up to me that all of these millennials grew up not knowing how to do anything in their house. But so you guys had boomer parents, right?
Correct.
I did.
Okay. I had one Gen X parent, one boomer parent. What would you say is the best lesson that you've learned from your boomer parents?
That's so on the spot. I
can't come up with one. It's fine if
you're like. I mean, I don't even know if it's like. I can't even know if I can point to a point where this was actually like a value that was instilled in me. But since it is, I have to assume that I got it from my parents, and that's. Look, your life is your responsibility, and complaining about it, however valid you may think it, isn't going to get the problem fixed, and that you have to take care of yourself and those that you've, tasked with being in your life. So, take responsibility for yourself and your own actions. It's why I hate woe is me so much. It's like, I get the point of complaining about the boomers destroying all the things, and it doesn't make it wrong. Yes, the housing market is crap. Yes, the economy, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather, it's the argument, right? Guys want to focus on solutions. Like, I don't want to focus on, what my problems are. I want to focus on what I can do to fix them. And I think that and being instilled with a sense of gratitude for what you do have, which is another thing. It's like, whether you like it or not, you've been born into unbelievable privilege just to live in America. Growing up in the 90s, you have it better than 90% of the world act like it.
Well, see, that's ending the show on a positive note. Yeah. I like that.
I'll ruin it. No, I'm kidding. My dad had a mantra that I've always enjoyed. It's like, a man's gonna do what a man's gonna do. And so usually when I'm in like my pithy despair, whatever era, I ultimately, it like reverberates in my mind. Well, a man's gonna do what a man's gonna do. And it's like, whatever, I'll just do it.
Take care of it. Fix it.
All right.
Were you imparted any wisdom from?
Well, I have very unconventional parents. I feel like they wouldn't be representative of their generations. But I guess one thing, even if doing the thing where you give a firm handshake and hand them your resume printed on paper isn't effective nowadays, I guess one thing, just practically speaking, is that you should just form relationships as often as possible, and they're going to pay off in the future. And even if they don't, it's still worthwhile.
Dude, I think firm handshake is, it's literally my moral compass with men usually. Like,
yeah, 100%. Man to man, I understand that.
Yeah, well.
Feels a little silly to me. Okay, let's finish the super chats. 200 Watt Studio said, "We'll see that Costco dad as the subject of a true crime doc soon."
100%, dude.
Well, there was somebody accusing him of exploiting his daughter. as in like forcing her to wear like cleavage in one of the videos, but it's like, dude, you're literally saying more about yourself than anything else.
Is there any
Like,
proof that that is true?
no, it's just her wearing a low-cut top. That Stanzatastic said Oliver Anthony and Hawk Tuah girl for a country collab when? Boom or doom, homies. Starbucks, so doom.
They can get
This is the most brain rot super chat I've ever
They
seen.
can get Post Malone in there since he's pivoted to country.
That's a
Really?
doom. That's gonna be a doom from me, personally.
Doom.
Corey Anderson said, "Where the hell is the Rizzler? That video is a doom." You saw the Rizzler. He's the kid who talks like this.
No, is it the Rizzler?
That's the Rizzler, isn't
the
it?
little fat guy, the little fat kid.
Maybe I'm wrong.
That did the video where he's like,
I don't know why the dad calls his wife Big Justice. I would be offended if that were
I
me.
sent Mary another one the other day of a guy singing The Rizzler to LBJ's grave.
Yeah.
"Are you trying to make me feel bad?" I'd be like, "Listen, I said marry my memes now."
Well, hey man, if you can't appreciate
You've been
a
replaced.
paraplegic trying to...
You just don't appreciate Fred's
If you can't take me in my paraplegic stripper dancing,
then you don't deserve me at my Rizzler singing to LBJ's gravestone.
Surenko Productions said, "I figured out why Dane hates the boom guys. LOL. It's because the target audience is boomers."
There you go.
Is it?
Perhaps. I mean,
I don't think
no.
it is.
I think
It's like children, right? They're making.
I think
guess.
it's
Seems
words
like-
we
I-
can't say.
It's reached an audience it wasn't intended for. No Diggity said, "Dane, I'm so glad you're here. Day made."
Hey, that's
That's
nice.
sweet.
Thank you.
200 Watt Studio said, "Dane, please speak clearly. You're on a mic." To Marble Mouth.
They need to know what you have to say.
Noted.
Okay, this is a $5 without a message from Skobor Koilenkopf.
Are you like some type of like Cold War spy in hiding?
Why? I didn't pronounce that well at all.
I'm just the person. I'm asking if this person is
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
If I were like fluent Russian.
Real odd response from Mary's like, "I'm not the Fed." I was like,
She's
"No
like,
one said
spy?
that."
Spy? Who's a spy? Are you a spy? Admit nothing, deny
You're a spy.
Admit nothing, deny everything, make counter accusations.
Red Snow said, "Sorry I'm late. Can we take it from the top?"
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Dane Fawn here.
Corey Anderson said, "In regard to that loveless Karen, do we have ears that aren't for hearing? Listening
Yes.
ears?
Exactly.
Jesus, take her."
Apparently she's not loveless and has kids. So
We don't know that she's not
Yeah.
loveless. Let's.
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to be married to someone like that.
Correct.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Mrs. Frizzle's evil bug-toothed stepsister's condescending buzzwords have been known to cause cancer in the state of California."
Yeah, those videos kind of broke me.
Yeah.
You were sweating. It was so funny. You were like fuming.
Took years off of your lifespan. Colby Hansen said, "If your argument for anything you tout California legislation, your opinion is immediately discarded."
I also put up that, like, look, there was agencies talking about banning gas stoves. That was a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
So
point-
she's just gaslighting us.
on a gas stove. Yes.
Like, yeah.
She's gas stoving us.
She's gas stoving me. The DJ Foy said, "Fazzled has convinced me. Destroy the Arctic."
Just to get back at her.
Just to ruin her day. Colby Hansen said, "Sean Connery has a solution for Miss Frazzled."
Oh, yeah.
Disavow.
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 The Manic Mustache said, "Late as usual and apropos to childhood trauma. My daughter's nickname is Bobby because Grandpa called her SpongeBob Squareback. If you play rugby, people gonna wonder, catch these bubbles, bruh."
The point being that, femininity apparently exists just like masculinity or being a man like exists on the spectrum, right? There can be masculine women and feminine men.
Catch these bubbles, bruh. The super chats are great today. Surenko Productions said Dark Pictures Anthology is made by the Until Dawn creator. Basically that game, but different settings and famous actors like Brenda Song, Ashley Tisdale.
Is Brenda Song the one that's married to Macaulay Culkin?
The
Is she the hot
Sweet
Asian
Life
girl?
of Zach and Cody actresses are both on?
I think Brenda Song is the one that's married to...
Yes, she is.
I just remember her being in the show Scandal.
What a
That's what I
lovely name,
remember.
Brenda
That's
Song.
totally a summary of our generational differences.
Yes. She was only in like 5 episodes.
Potatoes for Seamus said Dane with his Mexicano car horn cast castle.
Oh, dude. Wesley.
What was this?
It was a Cast Castle episode, and they made me drive Tim's Tesla, and they put like a sound bite over it where it's like listening to reggaeton, and they know I hate it, like from the depths of my core, and they did it anyway.
That's what they do.
It's what we do here, apparently.
We torture each other for
real.
content. No Diggity said, I don't want future, no more future. Let's go back. I would love that.
If it's a future of gentle parenting, then I don't want it. If it's a future of gentle parenting social media content, I don't want it.
If it's a future of gentle parenting AI friends and Hawk Tuah sauce, I would like to time travel.
For real.
Omega Red Fan.
This has to be the alternate dimension, by the way. Like, this isn't the main one.
We're getting pretty close to that third crisis party, guys. Come on.
Auctioneer voice activated.
Third crisis party.
Getting really close to the
We're going on 3 first. I can't do it.
Do I get $25? So I get $25. $30. $30.
Omega Red Fan said there's no use in trying to talk to bitter people. I know from experience.
It's true. I mean, it's one of the funniest things in the world is like if you the reason why I talk about gratitude so much is like a person who has some perspective can understand even if they disagree. But a person if somebody's bitter that their life hasn't worked out the way that they want to, and you point out, the very boomer take, it's like, well, at least you've got a roof over your head. They just, it sounds condescending, so they don't want to hear it. And I understand that. But if you can't understand that there are things that you have been blessed to have, then there's no point in trying to engage with them. Something has to actively, inspire them from the outside. They can't come to that conclusion with somebody else telling them that.
That Stanzatastic said, I don't think it is going to NSA. It is just a blackmail AI in the making.
I mean, yeah, to the NSA.
You should be worried even if they're keeping all of your data and not selling it, honestly. And he claims that it can delete whatever memory you want. I don't believe that.
Well, that's not what real friendship's like, so frankly, I don't find this to be all that realistic.
Yeah. Red Snow said, I'd get one if I could give it a macho man persona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great dog.
Cream of the crop, yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, men, if she has an AI friend, run. That's all the red flags, and she's probably a Fed or Fed adjacent.
True. Or James O'Keefe.
Imagine going on a date with someone who's wearing the AI friend around their neck, listening to your conversation and transcribing it for later.
Start saying the most insane shit.
I would probably get it and just say the most offensive stuff ever and see if it joins in.
I can't believe, like, man, that lady died during the bank robbery last week. It's
God.
And start admitting to crimes.
Yeah, it's just like
start.
I didn't mean for that lady.
See what happens, because if the data isn't being shared, nothing will happen, right?
She evades her taxes.
So I buried her in the backyard, right?
Not that John Stewart said, as far as strike pay goes in my union, for me as an electrician, it would be about 1/3 of my normal pay.
Is that like what unemployment is? 1/3?
I'm not sure.
Or half?
I don't know. Isn't it based on your bills as well?
I don't know.
Not that John Stewart said, we almost went on strike earlier this year and I had a nest egg saved up to live off of, but for more junior people, it would probably be about the same. Yeah, that Stanzatastic said, it can't be only $99, probably subscription. He claims there's no subscription service yet, but it's also not being shipped out.
Yeah, eventually you're going to have to get Friend Plus or Friend Max.
It's only available for pre-order.
Dude,
right
see, he's a lib, so he's probably, his market at some point is like miserable white women. You know that they're gonna have like the BIPOC upgrade with like, girl, you look great.
Yeah, you can select the AAVE dialect.
You completely have black friends. That was an ominous wait as we waited for the crisis party dance. What a bomb.
Thank you. Not that John Stewart said, thankfully we avoided the strike. Doing this one in one super chat was going to cost me $200. I like you guys, but
thank you.
That's okay. Thank you anyway.
Why not $200?
No, but you should send us $200.
Seriously, right now. Do it.
2 more dance parties.
There's $1 actually on my camera right now. I like when that happens. 200 Watt Studio said, what happens when my AI friend gets jealous of my real girlfriend?
It starts giving you bad dating advice like a woman does to her friend when she's jealous that she's got a boyfriend and her life's working out for her. Yeah, you look great in that dress.
Yeah, if your boyfriend
remember
or
we used to go out?
starts wearing an AI necklace, you should just run for the hills. Drewish AF said, we can all get one and selectively mess with NSA. That's what I'm thinking, but $99? Is it worth it for a troll?
I love the meme that says, like, when I finish every sentence I say with in Minecraft, and then my NSA agent, damn it. Almost got him.
Dude,
in Minecraft.
I'm instantly going to send this to Shane so he can spiral about it. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah, this would be a good topic to have Shane. Red Snow said, psycho armor mounted, praise be to Space King.
Thank you.
Thanks. I still don't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
Drewish AF said, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works.
Did we get the 20 up there before? I must have missed it when we did that.
Oh, is this from Doc Truth?
I don't know if we got that one.
Okay, I'm sorry if we did miss that one. He said, I'm late, but it's good to see Dane back. He gets a ba-ba-ba-boom.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-boom! Which is different than Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Dane's back. Baba Booey. You hate us. I can tell. Okay, 200 Watt Studio said, try the new hawk sauce. It burns. That's a great tagline. Taxi Flatty said, breaking, Ben Affleck and J-Lo file to divorce.
Shocking.
Is that true? Wait, let me fact check
Truly
this.
shocking.
She must have the world record of
Let me
divorces.
Yeah.
Like, what's the world record? If it isn't this lady.
It's a lot, man.
I just see Ben Affleck just purchased a new LA mansion.
Yeah, because you got to move out of the house they bought together.
It doesn't say that they filed for divorce, so I can't find
Wouldn't
it.
it be sick to get Dunkin' Donuts and cigarettes with Ben Affleck?
Yes, it would.
He bought a new home on J-Lo's birthday, just to get back at her, just to get a little dig in at her.
Damn, I want revenge.
So I guess the divorce thing is not confirmed yet, unless you can elaborate for us. Shane H. Wilder said, as a man, if your dad never made you hold a flashlight, then he raised you wrong. I was always helping my dad around the house, electrical, plumbing, etc.
And remember, you never held the flashlight correctly, no matter, like, you haven't been yelled at until you've been yelled at by a dad.
Aim down.
It's true.
Tacti Platty said, Mary, my wife walked in with a resume and was hired. Well, I guess that could work for some people.
Yeah, but did she bring her parents to the job interview? That's the real question.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. High Voltage 75 said Dane's father told him, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and then he grew up to become every woman.
Very millennial of me.
Sorenko Productions.
Just to be contradictory.
Yeah, contrarian Dane.
Sorenko Productions said the Boom guys are so popular on Facebook.
Okay, that's what I thought. When I saw that, I thought it was like this weird, like, I was like, it's not a TikTok audience. It feels like it's for like millennials who are stuck on Facebook.
No, maybe he's right. Maybe it is boomer content.
I guess.
It's like, oh, this is such a sweet family.
Dude,
like,
this is for the lower of the bell curve people.
I mean, they're falling for Facebook AI scams.
Yes.
So it's already pretty bottom of the barrel.
100%.
No Diggity said, agreed, Mary. The last video made her very cute. She's very likable. I think she's going to be my Caitlin Clark.
There you go. I mean, the guys don't like Caitlin Clark because she's in any way girly or for anything like that. She's just really, really dominant in her sport, and that's something that men appreciate.
Well, isn't it her personality as well?
Does she have a personality? I don't know what her personality is. I just know she's really, really good at what she does.
I don't know.
She's really, really good at being bad at basketball.
Caitlin Clark is not bad at basketball.
Well, if we're talking about WNBA.
WNBA joke.
You know, that's...
She's really, really good at being in a league that doesn't make any money.
Globally mediocre.
But she's bad, but again, like better than I would ever be. So you appreciate it in that sense.
Ulvin McGoth said, I once met a one-legged stripper at a party.
Okay.
I'm sure that was...
Those lap dances.
Her nickname was Peg Leg.
Those lap dances are those like half price? because she can't keep both legs.
Yikes.
Yikes. You give her more for the gumption.
Yeah.
That Stanza-tastic said Hawk Tuah plus Tony Hawk plus the Atlanta Hawk equals Hawk-tastic. Hawk-tastic.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bro, some of y'all need
Platty.
Jesus.
Tacti Platty said Dane para tra. I don't
know what that means.
I don't know either. Do you? Okay.
It's like to the back. Back.
Shane H. Wilder said, my dad was a sheet metal mechanic, so I had to help him redo the ductwork in the house one summer. Attics in West Texas are unbearably hot.
Yep.
It's character building.
Shane's trauma dumping right now.
I mean, I think he's saying it as a good thing.
I used to hold the light.
Corey Anderson said, crisis actors have super chats. PCC, what do you got?
Oh, God.
What do you got?
Mind-numbing content that makes me want to die.
Yeah. In Minecraft.
Crisis actors, what do you got? Shane H. Wilder said, I got a rock.
What do you got?
He has a rock.
And one more there from 200 Watt Studios.
He said, I can't wait to see the Costco guy's interrogation where the cops finish with, you're going to jail. Boom.
It would be the Law and Order sound of the jail.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. All right. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel, please, if you have not done so already, and wish Dane a good day because we tortured him today. Let everybody know where they can find you, buddy.
You can find me at your local insane asylum.
Is that all you got?
Also on Twitter, Dane Font, DANEFONT.
All right.
Well, sorry, let me enunciate for the one guy that paid his good money to tell me so. DANEFONT.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And I'm not sure if this is behind the paywall or on YouTube, but I'll post the link later. I did an appearance on Michael Knowles' show this morning. So go watch that. Go check that out when I share the link.
Perfect. And then there's one more there from High Voltage 75.
He said, need to get HCB in here with Dane again sometime. What was the rest of it?
Yeah,
It's been too long since the OG guests of PCC did a show together.
Those are fun ones.
Yep. Those are good times.
You guys should go let her know that you want to see her on the show.
Do it. All right, guys, if you'd like to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen rather than watch this show. And if you want to follow the show on social media, Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's one more there.
Two more. That Stanzatastic said Dane Fondue. Is that right? Spell it again.
I don't know how to spell fondue. F-U-N-D-U-U?
I think it's F-O.
Well, I'm dumb.
Well, that's not your last name. The Rumbling said her name was Eileen.
Warnos. Guys, with that being said, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We will see you then, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.